Ijumaa teule mpenzi mtazamaji, natumai kwamba siku yako imekwendea vyema sawia na yangu. Karibu tuangazie yote ambayo anagonga vichwa vya habari katika meza yetu ya NTV Weekendi, na kama ilivyo ada jamani, kila siku ya Ijumaa lazima tukupakulie vimbwanga vya Hemedi. Hii leo anatujuza nini? Anasema jamani, tutajikumbusha ya kale, yani sheria za mpira wa tufe. Kosa uchekwe, lakini kwa sasa tupate yaliyomo. Walimu zaidi wakamatwa kuhusiana na kukiuka taratibu za mtihani nchini. Je, baadhi yao ni kioo cha udanganyifu? Msimamo wa maaskofu wa kanisa Katoliki kuwa hadaa imeenea serikali wazidi kuibua hisia mseto.
We must be careful to be factual, lest we become victims of the things we accuse others of doing.
Jaji mkuu Martha Koome awataka wa Kenya kuheshimu idara ya mahakama. Nani wanawakejeli?
You don't call them ugly every day. You don't call them incompetent every day. You try to nurture them.
Na kiongozi wa ODM Raila Odinga akerwa na ucheleshwaji wa fedha kufika kaunti, hivyo kulemaza ugatuzi.
Execution or implementation of programs has never been and can never be the job of members of parliament.
Hii ni NTV Weekendi na Frida Mwaka.
Na bila shaka mtazamaji, ndio mwanzo wa taarifa zetu za NTV Weekendi. Mfasiri wa lugha ya ishara ni David Agondoa. Jaji mkuu Martha Koome amesema kuwa baadhi ya majaji, yeye akiwemo, wamekuwa wakitegemea ndoto wanazoota usiku wa manane kuandika maamuzi yao wakati mwingine. Koome amesema kuwa hili limesababishwa na serikali kunyima idara ya mahakama pesa za kuongeza majaji, akilalamika kuwa majaji waliopo ni wachache mno ilhali kazi iliyo mikononi mwao ni nyingi zaidi. Na kama anavyoripoti mwanahabari wetu David Mudhoka, Koome aidha ametaka Wakenya wanaokosoa idara ya mahakama wakiita sura mbaya au idara isiyo na meno ya kung'ata kuanza kuitetea.
And the presentation of this report really,
kama Yusufu wa Biblia au hata Yakubu waliokuwa wakiota ndoto zenye maana tofauti kwenye kitabu cha Mwanzo, Jaji mkuu Martha Koome amesema kuwa ameingia katika ulimwengu huo wa ndoto wakati wa kutoa maamuzi. Akizungumza katika hafla ya kuzindua ripoti ya utendakazi wa mahakama ya mwaka huu, Koome amefichua kuwa yeye na baadhi ya majaji wenzake wamekuwa wakibeba faili za kesi vitandani kwa vile wana kesi nyingi za kutatua ilhali saa ni chache.
Before I became a judge, I never imagined a fire would intrude my bedroom. But I can assure you I sleep with several of them. And so are these judges who are in front of you, who have to wake up in the middle of the night and catch up with a paragraph or two. Or sometimes you cannot even sleep because the solution has come in form of a dream and you have to wake up and write it down. Am I right?
Kulingana na jaji huyo mkuu, hili lingeepukika iwapo serikali ingepatia idara ya mahakama pesa za kutosha za kuajiri majaji wapya watakaopunguza mrundiko wa kesi. Koome alilalamika kuwa katika kipindi cha miaka miwili iliyopita, serikali imekuwa ikipunguza bajeti ya idara ya mahakama kwa zaidi ya 50%, ilhali nafahamu fika changamoto zinazokumba idara hiyo.
We received 22.4 billion, which was significantly below what was budgeted for. As you know, we budgeted for 43.1 billion.
Koome amewataka Wakenya kusimama kidete na idara yao ya mahakama, wakiwemo wanaoisuta kila mara, ili kuwapa majaji motisha ya kuchapa kazi.
If you have given birth to an institution or a child, you nurture them. You don't call them ugly every day. You don't call them incompetent every day.
Viongozi wakuu serikalini hata hivyo walisusia hafla hiyo muhimu, akiwemo Rais William Ruto, naibu wake Profesa Kithure Kindiki, Spika wa Seneti Amason Kingi na mwenzake wa bunge la kitaifa Moses Masika Wetangula. Spika Kingi hadi alikuwa amepangwa kama mmoja wa wazungumzaji kwenye hafla hiyo.
Hivi karibuni idara ya mahakama imekuwa ikisutwa vikali kutokana na madai kuwa si huru, lakini Jaji Mkuu Martha Koome ametetea idara hiyo na kuwataka Wakenya kutopoteza imani nayo. David Muthoka, NTV kutoka mahakama ya Milimani, Nairobi.
Na mtazamaji, aliyekuwa waziri mkuu Raila Odinga amevunja kimya chake kuhusu masuala yanayokumba nchi, sasa akilalamikia jinsi mvutano ugavi wa rasilimali kwa kaunti unavyoathiri utendakazi na kutishia kusambaratisha ugatuzi. Odinga akiwanyoshea wabunge katika bunge la kitaifa kidole cha lawama, akisema kuwa azma yao ya kutaka kuwa watekelezaji wa maendeleo kinyume na aliyotajwa majukumu yao kwenye katiba ndiyo chanzo kikuu cha mvutano huu. Tumpate sasa Ibrahim Karanja na mengi.
Kwa muda wa miezi mitatu sasa, Raila Odinga amekuwa kimya kuhusu masuala ya humu nchini, akiendelea kunoa makali yake kwa kampeni za wenyekiti wa AUC. Ila mvutano wa ugavi wa rasilimali baina ya serikali kuu na magatuzi umetibua kimya cha Odinga na kurejesha umatatari wake wa kawaida.
On the surface, this standoff is about the Division of Revenue Amendment Bill 2024. The hidden reality, however, is that this standoff is about a power grab and an assault on the Constitution that members of the National Assembly want to execute, and which will amount to a cruel betrayal of the people and an overhaul of our structure of governance.
Zimesalia tu wiki sita kabla kufikia nusu ya mwaka wa kifedha wa 2024-2025 na bado hamna jibu ya kukitegua kitendawili hiki. Kwa siku 137 zilizopita, kaunti zimekuwa zikipokea ugavi wao kuchelewa na pia kwa mujibu wa sheria ya ugavi wa mwaka jana. Mwanzoni kaunti zilikuwa zipokee kima cha shilingi bilioni 400.1, ila kukataliwa kwa sheria ya fedha ya mwaka 2024 kukaadhiri mpango huo.
Because MPs want to have their way with the abrogation of the Constitution and getting their pound of the flesh with regard to NGCDF, the Senate and the National Assembly are unable to agree on something the law is so clear about: sharing of the revenue between the national government and the county governments. Apparently, the National Assembly is in support of provisions that will lower the amount of money shareable to counties against the provision of the laws of the land and the tradition established since the coming of the devolved units. Against the laws of the land, the National Assembly is supporting a proposal that would provide that any revenue shortfall in the country is borne by both levels of government.
Analaumu ari ya wabunge kutaka kuwa na kitita chao kama chanzo kikuu cha mvutano huu.
Execution or implementation of programs has never been and can never be the job of members of parliament without creating a serious accountability crisis in our governance system to the detriment of us all.
Whoever was advising him on the comments to make probably gave him the wrong data. At the end of the day, I think the National Assembly has a responsibility. Members of Parliament are also elected and they also have a role. We will do our work, and when it comes to representing the people by requesting for projects to be done within the constituencies, that's a role we've been given by the Constitution.
Tayari vikao viwili vya kamati ya mapatano inayohusisha wabunge kutoka seneti na wenzao wa bunge la kitaifa vilitibuka bila majibu. Kujitosa kwa Raila Odinga kwa mazungumzo kuhusu ugavi wa rasilimali kwa kaunti ni swala ambalo huenda likaalika siasa kutoka kwa wabunge na wanasiasa wengine taifa linapoelekea katika wikendi, na ikizingatiwa kuwa siasa zake humu nchini kwa miezi chache zilizopita imekuwa tulivu, ikizingatiwa kuwa anawania kiti cha AUC, chochote kitakachofanyika kutoka hapa kisiasa ni swala la kutazama na kunakiliwa. Ibrahim Karanja, NTV.
Haya, tukiachana na hayo masuala ya siasa, mtazamaji, tuangazie hili ambapo zaidi ya walimu 70 wametiwa mbaroni tangu mtihani wa kitaifa wa KCSE kuanza mwaka jana, na zaidi ya shule 20 zinachunguza kwa kuwasaidia wanafunzi hao kuiba mtihani. NTV imebaini kuwa wizi wa mitihani umekithiri kwa mitihani ya mchana, huku walimu 7 kutoka shule 3 katika kaunti ya Nandi wakikamatwa Ijumaa kwa kusambaza mtihani kupitia mtandao ya kijamii. Jinsi mwanahabari wetu Bridget Ngana anavyoarifu.
Walimu hao wasimamizi wa mitihani walikamatwa katika shule za upili ya Samoei, Lelwak na Kamimei kwa madai walikuwa wanasambaza mitihani kupitia mitandao ya kijamii, kulingana na mkuu wa ujasusi kaunti ya Nandi.
These forms were used to photograph the examination materials, and then the examination materials circulated on social media. But what they did not know that we always detect it immediately and we take action as required by the law.
We want to have results with integrity. Yenye mtoto wetu akipita form 4, hata akienda Amerika, anaingia hizo mashule za huko bila maneno. Sisi tuko hapa kuchunga hiyo mtihani, tusiende kwenda kukoroga ati mnaonyesha mnadanganya, na mnadanganya tena wazazi. Ati tumepata pepa ya English, tumepata pepa ya biology, uongo mtupu.
Mwaka uliopita, NEC ilikataa kutoa matokeo ya wanafunzi wa shule upili ya Samoei kwa madai ya wizi wa mitihani. Kisa hiki kikitokea siku moja baada ya mtu mmoja kukamatwa kaunti ya Nakuru kwa madai ya kusambaza mitihani ya KCSE kupitia mtandao wa Telegram. Huku ikisalia wiki moja mtihani wa kitaifa wa KCSE kukamilika, NTV imebaini kuwa zaidi ya walimu 70 wamekamatwa tangu mtihani wa KCSE kuanza mwezi Oktoba. Wizara ya Elimu ikisema wizi wa mitihani inahusu wakuu wa shule, walimu, wasimamizi wa mitihani, wafanyikazi wengine shuleni na hata wazazi, na inafanyika kupitia mitandao ya kijamii na mbinu nyinginezo shuleni. Pia imebainika kuwa shinikizo kwa wakuu wa shule hizi kuleta matokeo bora inachangia kwa wizi wa mitihani, kwani matokeo hayo yatatathmini nyongeza ya madaraka na mishahara kwa wakuu wa shule. Visa vya wizi wa mitihani ya kitaifa imekuwa donda sugu kwa NEC kwa miaka na mikaka. Mwaka huu NEC ikitumia mamlaka ya mawasiliano nchini kujaribu kudhibiti matumizi ya Telegram. Telegram ni mtandao ya kijamii ambayo imekisiwa kutumika kusambaza mitihani hii kwa wanafunzi. Bridget Ngana, NTV, Nakuru.
Asante sana Ngana. Mtazamaji, Rais William Ruto amewajibu maaskofu wa Kikatoliki ambao wamekosoa utawala wake na kuwataka wawe wa kweli katika matamshi yao kwa umma ili kuepuka kueneza habari potovu. Akizungumza siku ya Ijumaa katika hafla ya kufuzu katika chuo kikuu cha Tangaza, taasisi inayomilikiwa na kanisa la Katoliki, Ruto ametoa wito kwa viongozi wa kidini kushirikiana na serikali ili kuimarisha umoja wa kitaifa. Hata hivyo, viongozi wa upinzani wamekashifu vikali serikali kwa kushutumu kauli za maaskofu hao na kuitaka kuwajibika na kukubali kukosolewa. Margaret Kimathi na mengi.
Siku moja baada ya baraza la maaskofu wa Kikatoliki nchini Kenya kushutumu serikali ya Kenya Kwanza kuhusu kutoza ushuru wa juu na madai ya kushindwa kutekeleza ahadi zilizotolewa kwa Wakenya, Rais William Ruto amewakashifu makasisi hao akiwataka wawe wa kweli. Ruto ambaye alisherehekea sherehe za kufuzu katika chuo kikuu cha Tangaza na akakumbuka ya jana.
And even as we engage in public discourse on matters that are important to the people of Kenya, we must be careful to be factual, lest we become victims of the things we accuse others of doing. I know you know what I mean.
Rais hakuwataja moja kwa moja maaskofu hao katika hotuba yake, lakini maoni yake yalikuja kujibu kauli yao, ambayo ilionya kuwa nchi inaelekea pabaya na kutaka kukomeshwa kwa utekaji nyara unaodaiwa kufanywa na vyombo vya usalama vya serikali.
I want to ask Tangaza that recognizing that many other faiths also believe in the Holy Catholic Church, that you also help train clergy for other churches.
Viongozi wengine wamejitokeza kupuuzilia mbali matamshi ya maaskofu hao, wakisema hayana msingi.
So they could have called the president aside, told him what they believe is going wrong, advised him on what they think should be corrected, and also pledged to pray for him.
No single saint will go astray when I'm on that board. If it happened, I will resign. If it happens, I will resign.
Hata hivyo, viongozi wa upinzani wamekashifu vikali serikali na kuitaka kuwajibika.
What the bishops have said is what the Gen Zs said, is what the millennials said, is what the opposition is saying, is what the international community is saying. Stop the abductions, stop the corruption. So name calling or trying to intimidate the bishops will not change the truth.
The targeted bishop is Archbishop Muheria. And it is important to know that Muheria did not even lead the statement. It was led by other bishops. But that profiling and saying that that was a tribal statement is a profiling that is in keeping with the Ruto regime.
Margaret Kimathi, NTV.
Asante sana Margaret Kimathi. Mtazamaji, baada ya taarifa hiyo nachukua mapumziko mafupi. Naona hapa zimekatika dakika 13 baada ya saa 1. Endelea kutazama taarifa zetu za NTV Weekendi.
When I have back pain, I reach for 2 tablets of Panadol Extra. It's boosted by caffeine for fast relief of strong pain, like headache, toothache, and muscle pain. And I am finally released from pain and ready to be there for those who need me. Try Panadol Extra for fast and effective relief from strong pain.
I'll have the usual on the rocks, double.
Your profile says you don't drink.
Oh, and I missed out on the silky refreshing test?
For real? For real. Well, in that case, I'll have whatever he's having.
I drink responsibly. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Del.
Del who?
Del Monte.
Real, recognize real. No added sugar, no preservatives. 100% real fruit.
Tarehe 4
on 4th
hadi tarehe 15
up to 15th of December
mwezi wa 12. Mungu anatupa nguvu kupitia kwa damu na mwili wa mwanawe.
Karibu tena mtazamaji, tuendelee na taarifa zetu za NTV Weekendi. Baadhi ya wachapishaji vitabu nchini wameanzisha mchakato wa kuchapisha aina ya Biblia inayolenga kutoa mafunzo ya kidini kwa watoto kutumia lugha asili za Kiafrika. Wakizindua aina ya vitabu, washikadau katika sekta hii ya uchapishaji wamesema matumizi ya mbinu za Kiafrika itatoa ufahamu kwa watoto kuelewa changamoto katika madhehebu mbalimbali barani Afrika.
Not just an education. 8 years old.
Africa in the Bible from A to Z, I mean, it just brings the Bible home. And what I mean by that is it simplifies and children can see themselves in this book.
One of the key things that we want to achieve with this book is that parents at home have a resource that they can use to actually educate our young generation on what role we played as Africans. So we see it as a book that will complement what is already going on in the church.
Na wahanga wa mafuriko katika mtaa wa Mabanda hapa jijini Nairobi wamepata afueni baada ya kanisa la Kikatoliki kwa ushirikiano na benki ya Stanchart kutoa hundi ya shilingi milioni 7 kuwanusuru waathiriwa kiuchumi. Fedha hizo zinalenga kuwapiga jeki waathiriwa mafuriko kibiashara na hata kutoa makao mapya kwa wale waliopoteza makazi.
So we have received 7 million Southern Kenyan shillings that will be used to be sent to students who are studying here in Mathari, and of course some of the Mathari community members who were heavily affected by the floods that happened in March.
When there's a crisis like floods or drought, then that means that the kind of impact it has on the young people becomes even more multiplied. So through our program Future Makers, we look at youth who are looking for employment and youth who are looking at building small-scale business.
Na mtazamaji, Katelo Isako ni mzaliwa wa Marsabit na kwa miaka 5 sasa amekuwa akifunga safari kusafiri dunia ili kushiriki mikutano ya kimataifa mabadiliko ya tabia nchi, yani COP. Na mwaka huu amefika kule Baku kufuatilia mazungumzo ya COP 29 na alimueleza mwanahabari wetu Zainab Wandati dhamira yake ya kufika Baku na ni kwa nini imani yake inazidi kudidimia. Hii hapa simulizi yake.
Nikiwa na mimi mwenyewe ni mfugaji na nafanya na wale ambao wafugaji ambao wako wanategemea mali yao, wamekuwa na shida mingi, changamoto mingi katika maisha yao. Miaka mingi kulikuwa na jilali, unapata mara jilali inapatikana miaka 10, kuanzia miaka 15, miaka 10, lakini siku hizi miaka nenda miaka rudi tunapata janga. Na tunaona kwamba hii inatokana na hali ya mabadiliko ya hanga na ile kitu tunaita climate change. Na hii climate change pengine kiko na sababu, kimesababishwa na nini haswa, kwa sababu gani kinaendelea kurudi miaka yote na wafugaji wanaathirika katika maisha yao, wamekosa mali yao kama mwaka jana na juzi na miaka 2023, 2022, 2021 tumepata na janga ile ya drought ambaye hatujawahi kuona kwa miaka 40 iliyopita. Na miaka 40 iliyopita ni 1984. Hiyo ndio ile tumejua kwamba kulikuwa na drought au janga, na mara hii imekuwa mbaya mpaka imeanza kusababisha hali mbaya kwa watu, ukosefu ya chakula, ukosefu ya maji, na mifugo yao ilikufa kwa hali ya juu. Tukilinganisha ngamia karibu asilimia 80-70% zilisha, mbuzi kama 80% lisha, ng'ombe imeanza hata kukosekana, kama kimebaki ni kitu kama 5% peke yake. Na hiyo yote ni kutokana na hii hali ya janga hii. Na sasa tegemeo yangu na pengine matarajio katika kikao kama hiki cha COP ni kuona kama hawa watu ambao wameathirika, na hawa sio wale ambao wamesababisha, kuna sababu, lakini hawa ndio wanaumia zaidi. Hawajasababisha, lakini impact yake inatokana na wale ambao hawakuwa na chochote, hawajui hata mabadiliko hali ya anga ni nini. Wafugaji hawajui, they don't know what climate change is, hawajui kabisa, na wanaona tu imetendeka na imemaliza mali yao na imesababisha vifo katika hali ya juu, ukosefu ya chakula, ukosefu ya kila kitu. Na ukiangalia hivyo wao wanaona kwamba ni kitu ya kawaida tu, ukijua kwamba wakazi wa sehemu hizo ya Northern Kenya ama Southern Ethiopia tunasema kwamba ni wale ambao hawajaenda shule, wengi wao literacy level iko katika hali ya juu, na hiyo ndio imeleta hawa kwamba sasa wamekuwa sasa wafungwa tunasema wafungwa wa environment, tunasema environmental refugees kwa lugha ya Kimombo, kwa vile wamekosa namna, wamekosa wahami, wamekosa mali yao, wameanza kuwa tu wanategemea chakula ama usaidizi wa relief na serikali ama na shirika lisilo.
Haya mtazamaji wangu, tukitoka Baku turudie papa hapa jijini Nairobi, lakini kwa sasa tuelekee madukani.
I'll have the usual on the rocks, double.
I'll have whatever he's having.
Real recognize real. No added sugar, no preservatives. 100% real fruit.
Sustainability becomes one of the biggest challenges that you will face when it comes to building movements, because burnout happens. You get tired. Always ask yourself the question, why did I even get here in the first place? One of the easiest or one of the best ways to do this is through this open canvas to movement building that talks about three things in movements. You have the movement identity, you have the movement journey, and then you have the enablers.
Enjoy all-in-one payment solutions for your business with Network. Accept multiple payment methods and process all your business transactions on one device. Whether it's M-Pesa, Airtel Money, Visa, MasterCard, Apple Pay, or Google Pay, Network does it all. It's faster, it's better, it's smarter. Get it for your business today by calling 0730-847-847.
Introducing Festive Cakes.
We have some delightful snacks for all of you.
The Festive Simbella Cake. Indulge in the pleasure of a cone-shaped cake that's bursting with flavors.
Where did you come from? Ham. So this is where the magic happens. This is for you kids.
Festive cupcakes.
Thank you.
Perfect treat to share with friends and family.
Now for your kids' school snacks, Hakuna stress.
Festive pink cakes. The perfect blend of sweetness and softness.
And now this is for you, Dad, and your office mate.
Festive pound cake. This sumptuous cake will leave you craving for more. Taste the magic with our festive cakes from DPL Festive Bakery. Delight with every bite.
Tudunde viwanjani. Kaunti ya Kakamega inaendelea na matayarisho ya kuandaa makala ya 11 ya mchezo utamaduni maarufu kama Kikoska baina ya kaunti zote 47 kuanzia tarehe 23 hadi 30 mwezi huu. Kinara wa mchezo huyo, gavana wa Kakamega Fernandes Baraza, amesema watashinda taji la soka ambalo kaunti ya Pokot Magharibi ndiyo mabingwa watetezi.
I want to say that it was not a coincidence to choose Kakamega because this is the home of football. I know the defending champions, Libertia West Pokot, the last edition, but you can be sure Kikombe is going to back. As we prepare to host you people for this 11th edition, I want to assure the sporting fraternity from Kikoska that we have enough facilities in Kakamega. Our security is up to date.
Na Italia na Ufaransa zimefuzu robo finali ya ligi ya mataifa ya Ulaya zikiwa zimesalia na mechi moja, na Uingereza itarejea katika daraja la juu iwapo itaishinda Jamhuri ya Ireland uwanjani Wembley siku ya Jumapili.
Lost out there now, Barella.
Italia ilishinda Ubelgiji bao moja. zito linalosubiriwa kwa hamu na gamu. Tyson mwenye umri wa miaka 58 na Paul mwenye umri wa miaka 27 walipimwa uzani Alhamisi hapa Arlington mjini Texas, tayari kwa pambano hilo litakalofanyika katika uwanja wa AT&T mjini Dallas. Tyson atarejea ulingoni kwa mara ya kwanza baada ya miaka 19 na amepigana mapigano 58, ameshinda 50 na kushindwa 6.
Tukiachana na taarifa za spoti, sasa katika vimbwanga vya Hemed. Hii leo Hemed akili zake ameamua tu kuturudisha utotoni. Je, unakumbuka mpira wa zama hizo uliokuwa unaitwa tufe? Hemed anasema kwamba mpira wa tufe kwa enzi zake ulitamba sana kijijini na anaukumbuka kama mpira wa miguu uliokuwa ukisukwa kwa kamba na makaratasi. Uliokuwa mpira wenye sheria ngumu zaidi duniani ambazo mtazamaji hazijawahi kurekodiwa katika kumbukumbu za vitabu vya sheria za FIFA. Leo Hemedi ametumaliza. Tazama.
Ukatili sitausahau. Baba vumilia tu. Kwa hili kipo shani.
Nakumbuka zamani sana. Kwa leo watoto wa mjini, kaeni kando kidogo, mutupe nafasi. Sisi tuliokuwa tukilishambuzi zamani kule kijijini. Nakumbuka kulikuwa na huu mpira. Mnaona huu mpira? Huu mpira unaitwa mpira wa tufe. Mpira wa makaratasi huu. Mmoja katika mpira ambao ulikuwa na sheria ngumu zaidi duniani. Ilikuwa ni makosa makubwa sana kwa anayeumiliki mpira huo kumchenga.
Mwenye tufe huwa haruhusu kuchengwa kwa madharau. Kimchenga tu kwa madharau, mwenye tufe ana uwezo wa kuchukua tufe lake na kuondoka ama akutoe nje.
Kulikuwa na rafiki yangu sahihi anafanya kazi NTV, NTV, Ahmed Abdalla. Huyu kijana sasa ilikuwa ikifika ni wakati wa Ahmed anaenda kurudisha mbuzi sasa katika maeneo yenye zitakuwa ziko machuni tunaziona, lazima tupige break, lazima tukule half time sasa hapo. Juu ataenda na mpira, mpira sheria ako nazo yeye. Ikitokea kwamba mwenye mpira amekanyagwa, basi mpira hivyo ndo unaisha. Yaani hiyo ndo inakuwa full time.
Goal kick. Ilikuwa kubainisha wachezaji wa timu hizo mbili, lazima timu moja ivue shati. Hususan timu ile ambayo iko na umiliki maalum wa tufe. Au watavaa shati.
Wajefa vitu vile. Si unakumbuka? Nakumbuka kabisa kuna time ilikuwa tukiingia hivi kama tumeenda kwenye huo mpira, tukitaka kucheza, yule anayeumiliki ule mpira, yeye kwanza ndiye wa kwanza atakayewapanga, na anapanga ratio ambayo ilikuwa ya maonevu sana. Anaweka 10 huku 6 huku. Ole wako jaribu kumpinga, unaweza kula red card na uko nje.
Mimi kama niko na mpira utapata niko na kikundi cha kama watu kama 5-6 wananifuata huko nyuma, kwa sababu wao hana mpira na wajua kivyovyote vile tukimfuata huyu tutacheza. Na tukimkosea basi utapata mwisho wa kwisha kifika uwanjani anakuambia huyu utacheza, huyu nataka huyu leo acheze.
Haya, kataa uangalie. Natoa mpira wangu naenda. Hivyo ndivyo ilivyokuwa miaka ya zama za tufe.
Huyu msamu achani. Hani wazi kwa mama yangu kiuno.
Yaani kale ikipita hairudi. Lakini vyote ni vimbwanga tu. Ahmed Abdalla, NTV, Nairobi.
Asante sana Ahmed Abdalla, jamani umetukumbusha zama za kale. Haya mtazamaji, cha msingi zaidi ni kwamba kesho kutakuwa na kipindi bab kubwa kabisa, Gumzo la Sato inarejea tena, ndio habari ya mjini. Kwa hivyo mwendo wa saa 10 mpaka saa 2 runinga ni NTV. Ni Tafida Mwaka, siku zote nitaitika. Mfasiri wa lugha ishara ni David Agondoa. Kwa heri.
This is NTV.
Welcome to San Francisco.
The best players in the world.
It's the most beautiful.
Sacco today and experience a financial partner that works for you. Call us or visit us at IPS Building on 10th floor, Kimathi Street, Nairobi. We are open to all. Nation Sacco, fulfilling dreams.
Babies play around and then, oops, Morphix in a absorb like whoop. Imagine, haiwezi live in 50 different movements. Makofi to both babies and Morphix. Renewed Morphix, ultimate quality.
Morphix is renewed. Improved Morphix quality, now in blue package.
Baadaye auntie. Mkuu, umetufikisha home poa. Asante. Pia wewe pata kakitu ikufikishe home.
Nunua any 280-gram Cadbury Dairy Milk Packs ama Cadbury Drinking Chocolate. Visit cadbury.africa uandikie someone special your heartfelt message ya kumshow thanks. T's and C's apply. Cadbury, there's a glass and a half in everyone.
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated PG. It may contain scenes unsuitable for children under the age of 10.
Welcome back to the weekend edition. I'm your host, Dr. Kingori. Conversation yetu ya leo ni ya security. Everyone is talking about that, the rise of insecurity in the country. Our two guests, one of them is a self-made security consultant, anaitwa Mr. McLeod, na mnamjua kama the truth watchdog, is in the house. Wazi. Asante sana. Alafu guest wetu wa pili, nimesema is a friend of the show, third time appearing, na is always pia good vibes. Former GSU officer, now a security consultant, George Musamali is in the house. Sawa. Karibu sana. Ni poa sana kwenda straight to the point. Umesensitize wasi sana juu ya story ya Ngeta. Umekuwa ukiongelea pande zote mbili, kuongelea side ya Makarao na kuongelea side ya Mathegi. What inspired you? Because unikali victim wa Ngeta. Tukiongea na audience wetu before walikuwa nasema ati sijui kuna vile wawe kambao kwa mkono wanafinya nayo mtu shingo. Nimeangalia shingo yako, sio ni space ya mbao.
Nimezaliwa kwa Ngeta, wacha tuseme hivyo, because unajua neighbor wako ni mwizi ukiwa mtu mdogo, alafu na kama una grow unaanza mpaka kuiba naye kama amezeeka, sasa ndo unakuwa mtu wa mkono. Okay? So
mtu wa mkono literally.
Yeah, so but at the same time unajua kuna zile vitu zenye unafika mahali hata wewe kama binadamu unaona hii manze pale imefika sasa, hii ni mbaya, unakosea. Then pia kulikuwa na rende fulani tulikuwa naitaka kitambo sana, 42 Brothers. Then yo rende pia nikakuwa driver wa Mathegi. Juu ulikuwa sasa ukitaka kushika gun ndio upate hiyo chance ya kushika ama hata kuona gun, lazima uanze uko chini. Uwezi huwa mse, hauwezi enda kuiba solo, lazima ukuwe na wazae. Lakini si eti ni wazae mayu tu bigi kutushinda. Sababu by then ilikuwa I think I was 12 years. Nikianza sasa mradi tulikuwa naenda kuiba pale fulani hapo hivyo Adam Sakedo, ukipika inaitwa Jamu iko hapo tu nyuma kiasi. So hizo ndio base tulikuwa naanziaga, but mimi nilikuwa tu driver. Then ika grow nikajua wizi like nobody's business, because at the end of the day ulikuwa ukipatiwa sema so mbili, hiyo ilikuwa the mob nda watch movie, ndakula ngumu. Kulikuwa na Donald's twingine hapo. Alafu unaweza kula pia choma ya 10 bob na watch. Yaani hiyo 200 ilikuwa domob. Ilikuwa domob. So ilifika place yenye nilikuwa na chiki sasa wasee wanaanza kuondolewa. Unaona? Mmoja by then kulikuwa gana ilikuwa inaitwa Flying Squad ama ilikuwa gana walikuwa nakuja na utu tu Volkswagen twa yellow. Walikuwa nasikia tu gari imepita pa. Vijana kichungi. Hapo mimi nikaponea siku moja.
Walikuwa na shoot msee akiwa in the act ama bora tu unakaa.
Asa wakuanga na warning. Walikuwa yani before come washa survey hiyo area. Wanajua mko ngapi, mnakamigi saa ngapi, naona kama wanaletea bait. Bait ilikuwa kama demo. Unajua bait demo kibeba tu kibeti hivyo napima. Unajua hii ni coffee. Coffee demo anapiga nduru. By the time anapiga nduru simu na kibeti imeondokea. Unaona?
So ni mlikuwa mnaibia madem na coffee but si ile wanapenda.
Kuna mwanamke hiyo ufungui mkono. Lakini kuna mwanaume hauna mchapa masikio anasikia mastaa. Kuna kasauti huko kanatoka ti. Ako mwanaume wanaropoka kila kitu mpaka jina yake aine yenye zaidi. But ilifika tu place nikaanza kuona venye sana naangushwa. Nikajua tu next ni mimi. Jua sasa walikuwa nakuja tuseme umelipuliwa moja kama ya mbavu hivi. Alafu kama unasikia baadhi wamekugonga hakuna kitu unaweza do. Unaongeza zingine kaa ine.
Na bado mlikuwa mnaona hizo na bado unarudi miradi tena.
Sasa si pesa. Unajua pesa kwa nakashatani fulani. Nakwambia kaniaje bro leo tu hawezi date. Kaa huko date jana leo hizi. So unasikia tu acha nijaribu tena. Kuna position mbili za kuwepa ukiwa thegi. Either uende Ndonyo ama uende Mwea.
Ndonyo ni wapi?
Ndonyo Ndegoreti. Okay, so hizo places kuna kuaga na place unakuja tu unajifanya wewe ni boy unataka job kama kuchunga ng'ombe ama kuchunga field ya mchele. Huko hivyo utafutwagi. Lakini ungekuwa hapa mjini asa walikuwa na kusmoke hata ujifiche wapi.
As a security consultant you will hold a different opinion. Kama unasikia Truth Watchdog akisema ati alikuwa anaona mtu anapigwa risasi na bado kesho ataenda mradi. Is that really a solution?
Ni lazima tuangalie historia. Where did we start? Unajua stories extrajudicial killings, people are talking about them, lakini hawajui historia hii mambo yalianzia wapi. Na hii mambo ilianza kitambo. 76 kulikuwa na msel toka Uganda anaitwa Patrick Walimbwa. Uganda had a special force or a special unit before Kenya. So when Amin was toppled, Patrick Walimbwa alikuwa kwa ile ilikuwa inaitwa SRB, State Research Bureau kule. Ndio kama SSU yetu. Akavuka Kenya na bunduki zake na kikosi chake. Walianza kuangaisha watu from Busia to Nairobi. That time. Na I remember nikiwa bado kijana mdogo waliua a forester pale inaitwa Tarbo in Eldoret. Na by the time police wana assemble waende kule, wamefika Eldoret wameua muhindi anaitwa Sagu. So in that process mmoja wao alipigwa risasi na kauliza wale makarao, nyinyi mmenipiga mimi, mmepata Patrick? Wakauliza Patrick nani? Akawaambia anaitwa Patrick Walimbwa. Now when they did their research we realized kwamba huyu ni hatari, hawezi patikana. So Rift Valley PPO had to assemble police from all stations kuja Eldoret kuinda Patrick Walimbwa.
One man.
Na wakati huo ndio nilisikia bunduki inaitwa Scorpion made in Czechoslovakia. Kwa mara ya kwanza hata Wakenya walikuwa polisi wa Kenya walikuwa wanatembeanga na zile za mbao wakati huo. How do you face such a person? Alikuja akauzwa na demo hapa Kangemi, akauziwa Patrick Shaw. Ndio Patrick Shaw akamuua. That is the history of extrajudicial killings in Kenya. Ikaja mjamaa anaitwa Wakinyonga akapigwa. Kenyatta mwenyewe Kenyatta 1 alitangaza akasema mwizi wa benki wakati huo kina huyu aliandika My Life in Crime kina Kiriamiti walikuwa wamezidi. Akasema mwizi wa benki akipatikana apigwe risasi. Waona? Tukavuka, mimi nikaandika kwa kikosi 1990. Tukiwa pale Ruaraka asubuhi tunapata barua imeandikwa imetupwa kwa gate. Nasemekana kuna maafisa 4 wahame Nairobi. Nani wameandika? Washosho, Wanogu na Rasta.
Wamewapea warning
wahame. It was that serious. Katika ile mambo ya kujipanga panga hii tutakabiliana na jamaa vipi? Squad kaya jamaa ilipigiwa mlango kubwa.
Squad kaya
wale jamaa walikuwa wametajwa 4, mmoja alikubali kwenda. Siwezi taja jina lake. Alisema hii Nairobi kama ni hivi wacha mimi nihame. Akaondolewa. The other 3 as we speak they are nursing gunshot wounds. Gari ilipigwa risasi pale mlango kubwa ndio ikaonekana hapana.
The thugs want makarao wahamishwe.
GSU hata si makarao kawaida, rec company in fact.
Na vile hawakuhamishwa wakawapigia hapo.
Waliwapigia mlango kubwa, ambush. Wali survive. Ndio ikatangazwa ikasemekana now dead or alive tunataka Rasta, Wanugu na Washosho. Hapo ndio tukaanzisha sasa flying squad. Na hatukuanzisha na makarao kawaida, tulitoa watu rec company kuwinda wale wase. And I remember sometimes nikiwa training nikaenda Magadi. Tukiwa mahali naitwa Kiserian, tuko mahali tunajivinjari, haja jamaa wakaingia. Sisi wenyewe tulitoroka.
You admit that mlitoka mbio?
Tulitoka mbio. Tulitokea mlango ya nyuma tukaenda. Because sasa wametupata sisi tuko tu. Na wakituangalia macho ilipoonana hivi, tukajua wamegundua sisi ni nani.
Na mnajuana?
Ukiangalia tu unajua hawa. Na sisi tulipoona tukajua si ndio huyu ule wanted. Wakati walipiga kona sisi pia tukapiga kona. Hatungekubali hiyo maneno. It was that serious. So when we talk about extrajudicial killing, lazima tuiangalie in 3 angles. One, kuna use. Manake kama vile huyu anasema, hawa vijana haungeweza kuwakamata, Wanugu hangeweza kukamatika. Number 2, misuse, ambayo ndio tunazungumzia sasa. Alafu kuna ile abuse. Wale jamaa wakifika pale sasa inakuwa sasa wao, they become a law unto themselves. They do what they want. Ndio unasikia huyu anakuambia walikuwa wakikuja hawakupei nafasi. Unapigwa, umelala chini, umekuwa disarmed, lakini they still come and eliminate you. Hiyo ndio inakuwa inaleta shida sasa. Kwa hivyo hii sheria it's there, it's governed because the law is very clear. What we call kwa sheria Criminal Procedure Code CPC, unaambiwa justifiable instances of using a firearm. Moja ni gani? Ni lazima uelewe.
Wezi hawana justifiable use.
Wezi hawana justifiable. Manake yake kupata basi ashakupata. Ukiresist ndio hivyo, unasikia kuna kofi mara 2.
Yes.
Mimi nikipewa hiyo moja peke yake, hata hiyo ndogo.
You are just being polite. Wewe unajua si inside out. Saa nyingine hata kuna video nilikuwa naona umepiga picha unasema huyu ni mwizi na huyu ni mwizi. Unaweza wa map out. Right? By kuharibu trades za business. Aren't you a target?
If I'm only one soul that is a target, and then we save 40 million Kenyans, come and shoot me. Bro, how does it feel to wake up in the morning afraid of your life that you might not go back to your wife?
Okay.
So where is the fear? Is it the fear in this one soul or the fear of the nation? We have to see the bigger picture here. Hakuna freedom will come free. You have to pay a price. And if I'm that price, then I'm serving my plate. Okay? Because I want to come out of my house and I want to know that my child knows my dad is going to work. Hata kama sina job. And he will come back. Na hata kama na simu, na hata kuja na makzameno ama kisu. So that is what we have to see. Like, how many Kenyans will we sacrifice in the name of polisi watafanya kazi?
Okay.
Na sisi tunaangalia wenye wanaibiwa, mwenye anaibiana, kuna mtu anajua kwake. Tusidanganye, anajua familia yake. Ofisa wanazunguka huko akitafuta huyu msee. Wanasema, huyu msee unajua ukitaka kama utaki huyu msee akufanye mbaya, kwa beshte ya mwizi bro. Hakuna siku ile mwizi ataikuwa beshte yako. Hiyo usiaidanganywa. Hata heri ofisa kuitisha 200 ya kuui. Unaona? Huyu jamaa atakuitisha 200 na kuue. So what is costly? Okay. Going the way of the police ama going the way of the thieves?
Is it justified for someone to steal because they don't have food? Ama is that a factor inakuwa considered kwa security?
The end does not justify the means. Kwa hivyo kama wewe ni mhalifu, wewe ni mhalifu. Na ukipatikana, watu wanaweza deal na wewe kisheria, na saizi wa Kenya mahali umefika ile feeling wako nayo ni mob injustice. Nothing is justifiable. Manake si mimi naamka naenda natoka nje naenda na hustle natafutia mtoto wangu. Wewe umeketi huko, umekula jaba, unaniongojea. Mimi nikuje ukisema Joe ndio ule. Uniangukie. I mean, I'm talking about things that I've seen. I can talk about people that have lost their lives. Kopro Turunya alipigwa risasi hapa town. Kuna Musime alipigwa risasi hapa El Salasi Avenue. People wale yani msee ametoka job, ametoka asubuhi mnasema wameenda job. Jioni hawarudi. Ile kitu mnakuja tulikuwa nasomewanga signal. So and so. Circumstances hizi. Seronei, he was shot 6 times hapa Buru. Uelewa? Kwa hivyo hakuna jinsi ile tunaweza sema crime can be justified in whatever sense. Na ndiko sababu kule New York 1984 mayor alisema akona broken window policy, kwamba mtoto akivunja glass kwa nyumba ama amevunja kioo, ule ni mhalifu, deal na yeye. Nafikiri imefika wakati hapa Kenya vile anasema tukue na broken window policy, ya kwamba hatuwezi kubali uhalifu kwa vyovyote vile.
I'll have the usual on the rocks, double.
I'll have whatever he's having.
Real recognize real. No added sugar, no preservatives. 100% real fruit.
Skia ni juicy. Flavor zote tamu tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu Aya kituka na shika. Yummy na flow kama maji tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu moja juu tamu kama sali. Ni juicy. Flavor zote tamu tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu zinakuudhi, sijali my bro, hebu kama taka juicy juu ni juicy. Flavor zote tamu tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu zinakuudhi, sijali my bro, hebu kama taka juicy juu ni
Chrissy itadonjo na Royco. Hey, ukisema pilau ama mchuzi rojo. Wet and dry fry. Hadi nyama choma. Hata ukitaka ugali greens. Hey! Na new chili cube pia itabamba. Zote zitadonjo ukieka Royco. Wewe, onjo uamini. Chrissy itadonjo.
Hammer down prices this Black November. Nakafu. Day 16 of daily crazy offers. Massive deals. Bigger discount. Lower prices. Unbelievable prices. Shop and save more than ever. Nakafu.
Baadaye auntie. Mkuu, umetufikisha home poa. Asante. Pia wewe pata kakitu ikufikishe home.
Nunua any 2 80-gram Cadbury Dairy Milk Packs ama Cadbury Drinking Chocolate. Visit cadbury.africa uandikie someone special your heartfelt message ya kumshow thanks. T's and C's apply. Cadbury, there's a glass and a half in everyone.
Show off your best skin with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion. Now with 5-in-1 complete care. The deeply nourishing formula prevents your skin from drying with precious cocoa butter and deep moisture for smooth and healthy looking skin. Step out in confidence with our most complete care from the world's #1 skincare brand.
Tarehe 4
on 4th
hadi tarehe 15
up to 15th of December
mwezi wa 12, Mungu anatupa nguvu kupitia kwa damu na mwili wa mwanawe.
Asante sana, welcome back to the weekly edition. I'm your host Dr. Kingori. Akileo, I'll just keep the intro short and straight to the point. Nime-study business, nime-watch videos on YouTube, nimeongea na watu wengi, but I dare say that I've not met a gentleman or a human being who understands business like our guest for this episode. Ed is in the house. I promised people in our last episode that you were going to explain to us the idea of the capitalism cycle. And specifically, I promised in the area of why some people can work hard for all their lives, but they will never make money, but other people will never feel like money is an issue to them. Please explain that to us.
Almost all countries in the world are capitalistic in nature. And capitalistic, it means that there's a system of private ownership of resources, factors of production, and so on and so forth. And in that understanding, for every shilling that you make, someone must spend it.
Someone must spend it. Someone has lost it.
Someone must lose it. Okay. So if you take an example of a cab driver, for him to make money, someone must spend it, is it?
Yes.
So, and how that system works is that it's a continuous cycle that goes on and on and on. And how poverty begins is if you kick someone out of that cycle of capitalism,
yes,
then they become poor.
So it's more like stealing, but with something to offer. Like
you can say so, because really capitalism by itself is not it's not an effective system. Iko na shida zake mingi.
Yes.
It is susceptible to corruption. It does not distinguish between money made well or stolen.
Yes.
So that so long as we're in that cycle, even in corruption, for someone to be corrupt,
yes,
someone must give the bribe, is it?
Yes, yes, yes.
And therefore, that's how the system works.
Yes, yes, yes.
And it explains why if you set up a business that does not solve a problem in that cycle of capitalism,
yes,
you will work so hard and get very little.
Okay, and what determines whether someone becomes rich or remains poor?
In the cycle of capitalism and the exchange of money, there are those who are doing essential things, meaning they are providing something that everybody needs. And that thing must be scarce.
It must be scarce.
It must be scarce. So there is no way, for example, I'll give you an example. The other day, we had, not the other day, a couple of years, there was a quill business and everybody was doing it.
Yes.
It wasn't always non-profitable. Kuna watu walifaidika sana.
Yes.
Sindio?
Yes.
But walifaidika kwa sababu at the time when they were doing it, the scarcity of the product was there.
Okay.
Kwa hivyo people were willing to pay for them because there was scarcity. But the challenge of this cycle is that as more people start providing that same product, then scarcity is no longer there. And therefore, the more the supply, the lower the price.
Does that explain how when everyone was taught, I was encouraged to be a doctor, to be a pilot, to be a lawyer, now we have more unemployed doctors, more unemployed lawyers?
I mean, it's a big factor. And I say this because I spend a lot of time with young entrepreneurs and I represent a number of venture capital firms. And when we try to evaluate businesses for success, you'll find that a lot of African businesses are being set up by people who do not understand entrepreneurship. There are 4 factors of production. The first one is land. And in land, you'll discuss anything that comes from the land, including oil, electricity, paper, all those things. Then you have capital.
Yes.
And capital is machinery, equipment, and all those things that support production. Then there is labor. And then there is entrepreneurship as a 4th factor. So it is the entrepreneur who owns all these other factors of production. Otherwise, ukieka land hapa, uweke machinery hapa, without someone to bring them together, then you will not have a business. So in Africa, after colonialism, we were taught to educate ourselves as much as we can. But the biggest challenge in Africa, we have an oversupply of labor.
If a company comes to Kenya to employ people, people will not be paid the money they deserve because very many people are available for the same jobs.
If I own a company, it is in my interest to pay less in terms of salaries.
Yes.
Otherwise, it doesn't make sense for me to pay more when I can afford it at a lower cost.
Yes.
So in the global market, and Kenya actually is among the biggest exporters of labor in East Africa.
Yes.
Because Kenya has very well-trained people. But we are competing with countries such as India that have a higher population, and because of the oversupply of qualified labor, they're able to charge less. That explains why almost all American products, including our iPhones, including the Samsungs, are manufactured in India or China.
Okay.
Because the factor of labor becomes cheaper when you go to those particular places.
Okay.
Yeah? So even in Kenya, it is not enough for a young person to work hard to provide labor. So we know we overly work hard in universities, pass our exams, get good grades. How many young Kenyans are tamarking? With good degrees, first-class honors, and still tamarking? Because essentially there is an oversupply of labor, and therefore the demand for it is low. And if you get it, it's not paying as much as it would if you're in a different place where the scarcity is there.
How do you join the team that makes decisions?
The solution is in entrepreneurship. And I say a lot of young people should give up the concept of working towards employment.
Wouldn't that mean that we will have an oversupply of entrepreneurs?
We can't. Because remember, entrepreneurs can be as many as the factors of production. So,
yes.
For example, in Africa, 30% of the renewable energy or renewable resources are in Africa. 30% globally.
Of the world, yes.
Of the world are in Africa. Then why is it that we are exporting raw materials to other countries for them to put them together into a product?
And bring them back.
And bring them back here. We are exporting unprocessed tea. For example, it goes to the UK. They process it, send it back to Kenya, we buy in the supermarket. And essentially, it's because of the lack of young people joining entrepreneurship early and understanding what needs to be done, so that we stop becoming a nation that is creating people to go and work for companies, but we start owning some of the factors of production.
You also said that we have an overemphasis on education, right? Where is the balance between education and success?
First, I think you've seen the guy burning certificates.
Yes.
You've seen it?
Yes.
Because essentially meaning that the paper itself is what a lot of people attach value to. I mean, how many of us attach a lot of value to degree certificates?
Not the knowledge that
Not the knowledge, it's just a piece of paper. For example, I don't know where you come from, but if from where you come from you have challenges of, say, water, don't you think an engineer in your village can simply build a small pump and sort of that problem? Wouldn't they pay for it?
They would.
How many engineers are in Nairobi doing odd jobs?
Are you saying there are no engineers in Umoja? So ideally, going by definition, is entrepreneurship is solving problems. So there's also, in your expertise, there's also enough problems to be solved for everyone to be rich.
Absolutely, absolutely. Even right now, I mean, we all seated here because you're solving a problem, is it? People need to see what you're saying. People are entertained by what you're saying. And essentially, when you solve a problem within the cycle of capitalism, people pay for it. You understand?
So the idea is getting in the cycle of capitalism.
Absolutely. And when we evaluate business for funding, and by the way, there's a lot of funding in Kenya.
There's a lot of funding in Kenya.
For a fact, in 2023, Kenya received the highest funding for startup businesses.
And in this Kenya, we still are in Kenya where people complain that startups in Kenya don't get funded.
Bad startups don't get funded. Good startups get funded.
What's a good startup?
A good startup is a startup that is based to solve a problem within the community and is sustainable. You understand? So for example, if you set up a business simply to put food on your table, that's an SME, and that's how you define an SME. It's a business built specifically to meet a short-term need for the entrepreneur.
Okay.
But a startup solves problems in communities. Understand?
Yes.
I give you an example. For example, if in the same example of you have challenges with water in your community, if you build a startup, for example, that is able to use solar to pump water, and the community benefits, you know why you'll get funded? Because the money is not for your business only. The money is also supporting an entire ecosystem of members of your community. And you look at the startups that have been successful in Kenya, they actually run on that model. Social impact. Take the examples of Twiga Foods. People are figuring out supply chain to move raw materials or farm produce from the farm to the market, move fertilizer from the market to the farmers. I mean, why would you not fund such a business?
Our SMEs are road to nowhere, number one. And the example that ties to that is, I heard of a very sad case of a guy who had a shop. And his shop was so successful that he used to run float of, let's say, 200,000 shillings in a day. Like, he got to a place where he would borrow the money as an overdraft in the morning, sell the products, make his profit, and then pay back the bank. Then he got a hiccup, and the bank was after him, and it got to a place where I think the interest accumulated. They auctioned him. He went back to square one, zero. Depression, right? And this is a story of many businesses. A business that starts booming kabisa and then something happens, dies a natural death. What happens in this case? Is it because the idea was wrong, or the idea was for a specific time?
The amount of money you need to survive as an individual does not require to employ all of us. It's true.
Okay.
Or you need to survive from the day you're born, the day you die.
Yes.
Forget about the luxury things you'll do, buy expensive cars, to buy expensive houses. Yes. What you need is a basic need for you to survive. You don't need to employ a lot of people. You can actually work for yourself and actually make it, is it?
Yes.
The reason why SMEs fail is because SMEs are not meant to solve a bigger problem in society. And therefore, you'll find a lot of SMEs, and the common denominator for all SMEs is lack of structure. You get? So I run the business to sustain myself. And as the business improves, I never get a chance to ask myself, what next? If you're an SME, the best place to get funding is a bank. They give you a loan.
Yes.
And you run your business and pay them back. So why a lot of SMEs get to a place where they become big and fail is because they usually are not built for long-term benefits. They're built purely for
short-term and survival.
And that's a big challenge, because that's the kind of business we are setting up. Most of the businesses we are setting up in Africa are primarily SME-based for survival.
Yes.
But that's a big challenge, because then you end up being trapped in the cycle of poverty, where you become rich, you give money to someone who owns the factors of production, which is a bank in this case. You're unable to pay the bank, they come and take your stuff. They kick you out of your cycle of capitalism. Then you start from scratch, building again. But we can avoid that if we learn setting up businesses as startups from the get-go and look at the bigger value we are playing. Then that way we can introduce more people in the business early to help you navigate some of those challenges when you get to that place.
Have you learned something? Wapi makofi ya Ed?
Baadaye anti.
Mkuu, umetufikisha home poa. Asante. Pia wewe pata kakitu ikufikishe home.
Nunua any 280-gram Cadbury Dairy Milk Packs ama Cadbury Drinking Chocolate. Visit cadbury.africa uandikie someone special your heartfelt message ya kumshow thanks. T's and C's apply. Cadbury, there's a glass and a half in everyone.
This week on the Chama Show.
Wazi.
Nasikia wewe pia ni chairman.
Kabisa, unajua mimi ni chairman wa chama za Kenya, chama chama.
Na nasikia wewe ndio unaweka pesa.
Vizuri.
No, the chairman is not supposed to keep money. It is the work of the treasurer.
Tunaendea chai sana kwa wingi kwa sababu tunakuja mapema. Na tukikuja mapema mke hawezi kupika chai hiyo wakati wa mapema kwa sababu labda kama yeye atashughulikia watoto waende shule.
Catch this and more on Sunday at 4:30 p.m.
Where did you come from?
Hamlet. So this is where the magic happens.
This is for you kids.
Taste the magic with our festive cakes from DPL Festive Bakery. Delight with every bite.
This November 11th to the 22nd, the world's eyes turn to Baku, Azerbaijan. The biggest global event for climate action, COP29.
We have already arrived in Baku in Azerbaijan, and over the next 2 weeks we'll be giving you all the exclusive content that comes out of here, who from Kenya is attending, what our agenda is here, all the exclusive interviews. You can only get it here.
NTV is your front row seat to this United Nations Climate Conference.
Keep it locked on NTV and all other nation media platforms.
I want my brother completely out of the family business.
I don't know whether you're daydreaming or not, but you got the wrong person for this job.
I can't run this business forever, you know. Liam is the best fit for the company.
Nataka kila mtu ajue mimi ni demu yako.
I don't care what you think about this, but wachana na Debbie. Usipozingatia kilichokuleta ndani ya hii nyumba, utakuja kujuta katika maisha yako yote. Afadhali mimi sifichi kucha zangu.
Cause mimi mwenyewe hata sielewi nini unaona kwa hiyo takataka mwanamke. I think ini through personal mama tupatia. Liam hayuko. Wacha kugagelele hapa, utamsha madam.
All this is because of you. Now wake up. Wake up and clear your mess.
Life kupia Kenya una deserve.
Are you losing your mind or your family?
Starting this Monday 18th at 8 p.m. only on NTV.
At Golden Tea, what we are doing, we are pushing for inclusion of persons with disabilities to play this game of golf.
I work with the children with the special needs. We are promoting inclusion in our national teams, regional teams. We have people with the disabilities also taking part in different sports.
His swing was good today. I'm very proud of him. And the fact that he's also able to play in the presence of other people and to just socially be present is a very good thing.
Tired of endless scrolling? Say goodbye to the chaos. Introducing the all-new Business Daily website. Experience seamless navigation. Immerse yourself in a world of more videos and more podcasts. Discover more with our enhanced home pages. Engage like never before with our interactive tools. Join us and elevate your reading experience today. Business Daily. More possibilities.
This is NTV.
If it is Friday, you know it's time for TTTT, Top Trending Talkers, Top Trending Topics. Najua mlikuwa mnategemea sura ingine ndio ikuje kwa TV, but ni mimi mko na mimi. Unfortunate, but it is true. A lot has happened this week. We are here to break it down. Today is a different kind of party. Wale wenye mmefungia Amina kwa jam, tafadhali mumfungulie lights. Mtu yote ataona gari ya red. KAY, Amina anaendeshanga vintage. KAY mkiona kwa red, muipitisha tafadhali akuja afanye show. Before that, let's see the highlights. Calligraph Jones has become the talk of the internet after unveiling his prestigious house on Instagram. The house is now famous more than the people on tonight's panel. But Kenyans, why? Why? 10 suspects who went on a shopping spree for high-end vehicles after fraudulently registering over 120,000 lines and using them to borrow at least 449 million from Fuliza have been caught. Where? Former nominated Senator Millicent Omanga's lavish lifestyle and extreme luck with the state appointments have gotten Kenyans turning their heads. Ni nini sasa mnauliza biashara za wenyewe jameni? Can't a young politician just make money anymore? At The Trend Live is our handle pale Twitter, at The Trend Live on Instagram, at The Trend Live on Facebook. I cannot do this alone. I have a panel of people. Niko na sausage party leo in the house. Starting from my far left, Victor Nyata. This guy is a renowned comedian, nini MC, nini ana acts zingine. Side hustle unauzanga nini zile side hustle?
Mayai, biashara ya mayai na niko na rangi ya yellow ya barabara, bado natafuta tenda ya serikali.
Kwani umevaa stock?
Stop it.
Also on the panel we have the amazing host. Huyu jamaa mnamjua, interwebs hakuna mahali hajamuona akihost mtu. Silver Kido, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, brother.
How are you doing? Mmekwaje wiki?
Wiki imekuwa poa sana, despite pia mimi niliingia kwa trap pale online. Nilijaribu kutetea ndugu yangu Calligraph Jones. Nikafanya mimi ndio sasa ndio funzo. Na iwe funzo.
In fact, now that you've brought that story, I think tuanze tu nayo. Calligraph Jones has now become the talk of the internet after unveiling his house on Instagram. Netizens have now compared the luxurious home to a mall due to its size. In a video posted on his Instagram, Calligraph showcased a room with a large shelf, glamorous shoes, na zile kofia zake. The OG also woke up trending because of his house. He posted, "I woke up today trending because of my house. People are comparing it to a mall, and these are the problems I have prayed for."
Amen.
Nyata, umejenga? Tuanzie hapo, umejenga?
You know, there is something about kujenga.
Yes.
Mimi pesa ya musingi ilipotea kabisa because of my lavish lifestyle, Nairobi lifestyle. But you know, I saw the picture trending and someone had done a Photoshop. Kuonyesha sasa iko na malls hapa, kuna pahali ya saa, cases za simu, and I was like, really? But also, you know, Calligraph is well built. I think what disturbed me the most is the house is so big that ina meza. Sasa anakaa kama hajapiga gym. So anakaa amepotelea ndani ya nyumba. And you know, but anyway, the OGs have to be respected.
You know, Kido, mimi issue yenye mimi niko nayo ni ati some things are very personal. How you decide to design your house, which schools you choose to take your children to, which car you choose to buy. I think these things are very personal. Hakuna mtu anafaa kuwa anakuuliza. Jamaa Wamasai wakiamua kujenga manyata yao, nani huwauliza?
No one.
When people decide to build their grass thatched houses, nani anawauliza? No one. So mtu akiamua kujenga to rivers, ni nini mnamuulizia? Unajua nini? Kwanza, Calligraph Jones, big up for your mansion.
Yes.
Among the few East African artists we have in East Africa,
yes,
ambao wamejenga nyumba ya kipekee ya kifahari. Kwanza anasema hivi, unajua ukikuwa public figure ama celebrity, interest macho ya watu, wanataka kuangalia unaishi vipi, unakula nini, unavaa nini,
yes,
unalala wapi.
Yes.
Unaget?
Hiyo ndio kazi ya Kido every single day.
Umbe itaki uzembe. I'll say that.
Yes.
So Kali kujenga whatever ameachieve kwa age yake, angalia 30 years plus ameachieve kitu kama hiyo. How many artists ambao wamekuwa kwenye game? We don't want to compare success ya watu,
yes,
but the way Kenyans wale appreciate pale online, kulikuwa na mixed reaction. Kuna watu wanapenda banta, kuna watu walikuwa wanamtroll, kuna watu wali feel like, you know, angeonesha nyumba yake to the public.
Yes.
Alijenga kitu anapenda.
Yes.
Sasa hii nikiamua ninunue token ya 1000 niweke pale kwa nyumba, niwashe fridge lakini iko na maziwa yangu ya 50, makosa iko wapi? Nyumba ni yangu, fridge ni yangu, token ni yangu.
First of all, I'm glad that we are discussing this in a panel of wanaume, because one discussion that has constantly come up over the years, mtu anafaa kujenga ushago kama anakaa Nairobi ama angoje afike 40 kwanza?
Hapana. Unajua
Because you see, that's the pressure. The pressure of kujenga Nairobi, you know, is making us make mistakes. You know, unakuja Nairobi unajenga, lakini the day you are going back to the village in that Mbao, you know, you realize that the village is where home is.
So someone should build in the village?
Someone should build in the village.
I don't
because
think so.
Pale, that's where you see, like now Christmas festivities are here.
Yes.
Watu wanaenda kuomba manyumba za kulala. You know,
Victor,
people are going to sleep in hotels. Yeah.
Victor, wewe uenda ocha mara ngapi? It's all about investing in the right way, doing the right investment.
Yeah.
You see, kuna mtu ana feel like maybe your mansion ya Kali, angeka do yote kwa mansion, invest maybe kwa biashara. But Kali akasema ni aje, I'm building my own home.
Yes.
Maybe hataki kwenda ocha tena.
Yes.
Unaget?
Or maybe hiyo ndio ocha. You know, people also assume that kila mtu wako na ocha. There are people who live and Nairobi is their ocha. And also that argument always comes, Victor, when people talk about, are you killing cash as a person? For example, let's say Nyumba Calligraph. We all know how, this is not really about Calligraph. I'm just using him as an example. That as an artist, our industry is very volatile. You do not know where tomorrow will be. Kesho itakuwa wapi. Some people are bringing up the discussion of he killed so much cash. He stole so much capital within that building, and like investing it in something else that would eventually bring back more returns ndio ajenge after imeleta returns. Is this a thinking you subscribe to, Kido?
For me, I'll say this. I don't know why we always want to plan for people.
Yes.
Mimi nikijenga mansion Nairobi nisijenge ocha. Nitaamua kununua gari ya 10 million na nalipa rent Roysambu. Shida iko wapi?
Shida iko Kido. Sisi ndio tunakuangalia. When the time comes, sisi ndio tutateseka na michango. Sisi ndio tunaenda kukujengea nyumbani.
Sisi we are going to clear the bush ndio tutafute mahali ya kukuweka.
Exactly. So Kido, while you have the opportunity, while you have the money, jenga nyumbani. Wanasema weka hata kama ni mawe mbili. Because Kido, you've taken girls for dates. Hizo ni simiti. Mingi sana Kido.
Wewe na hiyo.
Okay, Kido.
Wacha nimwambie kitu.
Yes.
Unajua kuna watu wanasemanga hapo online. Ati usikunywe kinywaji.
Hiyo ni simiti.
Yes.
Ati wewe umekunywa chai imekupeleka wapi?
Wewe umekunywa chai wapi Range Rover yako? Where's your mansion? We want to know, we want to hear from you at the Trend Live is how you speak to us online. The hashtag is TTTT. Pale Twitter, pale Facebook, kila mahali. We'll be sampling some of your comments when we come back after this short break.
People come to me and they say they get discomfort when they have ice cream. Can you imagine that? Avoiding having cold ice cream. Sensodyne gives you long-lasting protections against sensitivity. And people come in and they're like, oh, it works. I can have ice cream and I'm not in any discomfort. I recommend Sensodyne because it works. It's brilliant.
Flavors zote tamu tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu Ayaya kituka na shika. Yummy na flow kama maji tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu moja juu tamu kama sali. Ni juicy. Flavors zote tamu tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu zinakuudhi sijali my bro. Hebu kama taka juicy juu ni juicy. Flavors zote tamu tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu zinakuudhi sijali my bro. Hebu kama taka juicy juu ni
Baadaye auntie.
Mkuu, umetufikisha home poa. Asante. Pia wewe pata kakitu ikufikishe home.
Nunua any 280-gram Cadbury Dairy Milk Packs ama Cadbury Drinking Chocolate. Visit Cadbury.Africa uandikie someone special your heartfelt message ya kumshow thanks. T's and C's apply. Cadbury, there's a glass and a half in everyone.
Kuna mtu anasema ati Miss Agency. Ati mimi ni mkubwa sana Miss Agency. Miss Agency ulinisa. Unajua nini mwaka yangu? Miss Agency. Sitaki mchezo bwana. Tumini usikai jensi. Tulizaliwa na wewe. Unajua kweli. Sasa mchezo bwana mimi jensi 001. Sisi tunaenda maandamano mapema. Ndio jensi.
Skiza na Nation.
At Golden Tea, what we are doing, we are pushing for inclusion of persons with disabilities to play the game of golf.
I work with the children with the special needs. We are promoting inclusion in our national teams, regional teams. We have people with the disabilities also taking part in different sports.
His swing was good today. I'm very proud of him. And the fact that he's also able to play in the presence of other people and to just socially be present is a very good thing.
Thank you so much, Kwach. You are an absolute sweetheart. I owe you half my salary.
Amina, unajua hivyo ndio nimepata sikukuu.
Sasa unataka nini?
Hivyo ndio nimepata sikukuu.
Umepata ya mafuta.
Nimepata ya mafuta.
Because I've never sat in for you. That's what you want to say. That I've never sat in for you. I have, by the way.
It's good to see you. Ulikuwa umekwama kwa light ya wapi?
Yeah, hapo Haile Selassie.
Wewe ni mbaya.
Yeah, Haile Selassie, it was really bad. But thank you so much for holding the fort. To everyone back at home, hello and welcome once again to TTTT. My name is Amina Abdirabah. Shout out, like I said, to Kwach. We've got Nyata in the building and we have Kido. Welcome back, Kido. It's been a minute, by the way.
Yes.
Imekuwa ni muda. Tungejuliana hali at 8, lakini sasa muda usha yoyoma. Hatuna time. Now, let's talk about a KCSE candidate who is sitting for her exams at Sironga Girls High School in Nyamira County, who suddenly collapsed after being slapped multiple times by a government official supervising the ongoing national exams. Beatrice Kendi, who is a quality assurance officer from the Ministry of Education, according to a police statement reporting the incident, is said to have spotted the girl chewing something while she was on a routine inspection. After failing to obtain any expected evidence from the student, Ms. Kendi is reported to have rained slaps on the candidate, leaving her unconscious to sit for the exams. Wow. That's very unfortunate.
Seriously.
Were you guys ever beaten black and blue by any of your teachers in school? Did that ever happen?
I think you should be asking.
Were we never beaten? Like, was there a time we were never beaten?
No, but like in high school specifically. I mean, in primary it was abuse, but that was before it was made illegal. But in high school,
we are talking about high school. What do you mean?
Even university. Amina, what do you mean?
Hata who in university? Unaona hizo shule zenyu za kikisi, lazima tuongee.
Amina,
no? Yeah?
Let me tell you something, Amina. As the way of life, school life was viboko, kuparamiwa. It is called kuparamiwa, kufumigetiwa. Yeah, you've done something karibishwa na fumigation moja hatari sana. And this way all through primary, actually nursery, primary, go all the way to secondary, hadi polytechnic. It's nothing new. Sisi, we were in, I don't know how, that was war for us. You know, hizo miaka zetu za kitambo. Si kitambo sana, not that I'm too old, but hizo miaka zetu.
No, 206, kukua university 206 ni kitambo. That's one. You were in university when Kibaki was president. I mean, what do you mean?
So, wewe ukienda demonstration, hii mwaka ulikuwa na demonstrate ya nini haswa?
Hizi sichajiwe.
Because your good days are behind you.
Unasema Nyata amekunywa maziwa Nyayo?
Yote. Alikuwa akiwa mtu mzima.
No, but really today I know Cindy would have been very passionate with this story, and I want to represent her that there's sometimes when you're doing this kind of there's a reason why this kind of punishments were abolished. Because if you are a parent and you have raised children, you see how parents sometimes struggle with their children who have conditions, some of them, you know, lifelong conditions, that you struggle with them as a parent. Umengangana na wewe mtoto ndiye apite 5 years old, ameenda. So you who is coming in as an invigilator, you do not know the condition this person is coming into the exam room with, hata kama amekosa. Because just like Sharia protects both people who are in the wrong and people who are in the right.
True.
So if you find someone in the wrong, this idea of we Africans, we only respond to beatings, I've never understood it. And it trickles down. That's why during Corona time, you fail to get into the house by 7 p.m., munapigwa. Like, this kupigwa culture, you go for maandamano, munapigwa, munafanya sijui nini. It's almost like people believe that the African child has to be beaten for some sense to get into their heads. No.
Thank you. Can I just add something?
Yes.
Even African wives don't need to be hit for the point to be taken.
Yes.
True. Yeah. I know it's an old adage, and I know at some point we believed that kama hautamchapa hata kusikia na hata kuheshimu, but like, you know, I just wanted to add on. I'm sorry, Kwach, carry on.
So this Sironga girl situation, when I saw it, I was like, this could have happened anywhere. I know people will say it has never happened. In fact, this is the exception. It's not the rule. People are beaten and they survive. We have all survived. But I'm just saying that there is a reason why corporal punishment was abolished from our schools. It almost made a comeback during the former education CS Magoha's time, but it never did. They were never legalized to start beating students again. So let's not bring that back, please. Hata kama umepata akikul, it's just an exam.
Of course. It could be anything. Anatafuna, it could be anything. And also I think why Kwach is also passionate is because Kwach has performed in that particular school. Ni shule iko nyumbani kabisa, Sironga Girls. You know, when we were doing set books.
Girls?
Sironga Girls. Yeah.
Sironga Girls.
We performed set books.
Wait, so like Kwach went to a girls' school? Wait, no, explain to me. No, because I feel like you said that so that I could joke about it, and I feel like I don't have all the facts. So the school is called?
Sironga Girls.
It's a girls' school?
No, that you attended.
No. I mean, I performed set books for 3 years.
Yes.
Oh.
So the set texts in school. So one of the schools we used to perform.
I thought you were saying that you went to Sironga Girls.
I went to Sironga Girls as a performer, not as a student.
Entertainer.
Yes, not an entertainer, an educator.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of your behavior is questionable, but I didn't think it was to that extent. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, so
sorry, carry on, Nyata.
Yeah, so Sironga Girls is actually a school in my backyard, you know, coming from the great Nyamira County. Na hata hizo makofi, my neighbors were telling me walizisikia because they were so loud. Again, I want to agree with what Kwach is saying. Wachana na kupiga watoto. I mean, if there's something wrong, just report, because you never know what this child, this girl, what condition they have.
Yeah.
So tuache kupiga wasichana, let's respect them. If they're on the wrong, let's approach it with
tusipige mtu yoyote.
Yes,
sio wasichana pekee. Don't be, even the boys. You know, sisi we used to have, and I've said this story mpaka I think mwalimu atafikiria na mchukia. That teacher used to beat us 60, as far as you are from 60%, you're beaten that number of strokes. So kama umepata 20, you are 40 strokes away from 60%.
You know, but can I tell you something so funny, yeah?
Yes.
So when you take your children to international school, as elitist as that sound, and the comparison I'm trying to draw is very different from the financial standpoint. So if we could just be open-minded. So when you take your student or your child, your daughter, your son to an international school, did you know that the teacher is the one who's disciplined? Whether it's through salary, suspension, they're fired. if the students don't perform well, because it is a reflection on the teacher's performance. That the students, Nyata, you know, I'm here to teach you.
I'm wondering why you're addressing me. I mean, if you wanted to...
Kido. No, but I just want us all to understand that in other systems, they don't punish the student for not understanding what or how the teacher taught that subject, that unit. They punish the teacher because it means that the teacher did not teach it well enough for the comprehension to be easier on the students. You know, which I find so crazy because in 844, why would you beat me if I don't understand algebra? For example,
but do you know, Amina, let me shock you. Do you know that even in public schools, they punish teachers if your students do not perform well enough? That's why there's a trickle-down effect.
There's a, it's
they
not a
beat you because they know they will be punished.
No, you're not understanding. But the trickle-down is allowed by the school system.
Yes, this is
true. If there's
no
violence that has been allowed by the school, then the teacher cannot feel the need to try and now also punish the students because they have been punished by the...
superior.
That's what I'm trying. Wewe unanichapa mimi. Unanichapa unasema
sisi tulipigiwa school fees. What do you mean?
1 + 1 is equals to 2. I don't understand. You're not a good enough teacher. How about that?
We were beaten for our parents
Let me ask you something. And let me ask you something because I'm so passionate about this school thing because it makes a lot of people feel like failures and they are not.
Yes.
They are not. Absolutely. You just did not get the teacher. The teacher just did not have better ways to teach you the subject. Have you guys ever done the same subject? Because this happens a lot in high school. Have you ever done the same subject that you failed at with a different teacher in Form 1 and Form 2? And then you have a different teacher in Form 3 and Form 4 and you excel in the same subject?
Absolutely.
So what are we talking about?
Absolutely.
So what are we talking about?
No, that's why we are saying that teaching is a... But you know, Amina, where I want to empathize with teachers as well is it's an ecosystem that needs work 360. It's not just the need, because the teacher is also suffering from 100 students. How will I give each one of them attention? Like, there are just a lot of things.
No, I have completely, I've refused. I think that there are, no, we're going to take a break. I'm so sorry, Kido.
Yes.
Hey, I've just come back with so much passion. I don't know if it's the traffic. I don't know. There's a lot of pent-up anger. However, I genuinely believe that if the teacher tries to teach more than, you know, try to intimidate and show authority over the students and show some superiority complex, they will learn more. I promise you. If they have more fun with the students, if they come up with more relatable examples, the students will learn more. You cannot get mad at me because I didn't understand your concept. I am not stupid. I am not dumb. And a lot of people in school, especially in high school, make you feel so stupid that you think that you are a fool for life. And we have to talk about it. So more comments coming up right after the break. The hashtag is, of course, TTTT at The Trend Live is our handle. My name, Amina Abdirabah. We'll be right back after the break.
I'll have the usual on the rocks, double.
I'll have whatever he's having.
Real recognize real. No added sugar, no preservatives. 100% real fruit.
Welcome to San Francisco. The best players in the world.
It's the most beautiful thing you could ever witness.
Welcome to the official start of All-Star Weekend, NBA All-Star Celebrity Game. Let's go, baby! Stars and future here on display. The lights are on, the stars are here.
Chrissy itadonjo na Voiko. Hey, ukisema pilau ama mchuzi rojo rojo, wet and dry fry hadi nyama choma, hata ukitaka ugali greens, hey, na new chili cube pia itabamba. Zote zitadonjo ukieka Royco. Wewe Onjo uamini, Krisi itadonjo.
This is the comfort of a mom's hug. Nahi ni Molfix Pants Comfort that feels just like a mom's hug. Babies play around and then, oops, Molfix ina absorb like whoop. Imagine, haiwezi leak in 50 different movements. Makofi to both babies and Molfix. Renewed Molfix, ultimate quality.
Molfix is renewed. Improved Molfix quality, now in blue package.
This is NTV.
Tonight, just what did the Catholic bishops stir up? It's raining rebukes.
We must be careful to be factual, lest we become victims of the things we accuse others of doing.
You cannot preach doom and call yourself a bishop.
From fellowship to fellowship, we also have the defenders of the clergy. Also tonight, more than 70 teachers have been arrested for aiding KCSE exam fraud.
We have taken over their phones because these are the gadgets that they use in the examination malpractices to destroy the future of our young Kenyans.
We tell you how these teachers are also cheaters. Plus,
public trust does remain low. Trust loss is very hard to win back.
If you have given birth to an institution or a child, you nurture them. You don't call them ugly every day.
Judiciary on trial amid efforts to dispel allegations of executive capture. And Raila Odinga paints MPs as greedy and in defense of impunity.
MPs want to have their way with the abrogation of the constitution.
Whoever was advising him on the comments to make probably gave him the wrong data.
I want my brother completely out of the family business.
I don't know whether you're daydreaming or not, but you got the wrong person for this job.
I can't run this business forever, you know.
Liam is the best fit for the company.
Nataka kila mtu ajue mimi ni demu yako.
I don't care what you think about this, but wachana na Debbie.
Usipozingatia kilichokuleta ndani ya hii nyumba, utakuja kujuta katika maisha yako yote.
Afadhali mimi sifichi kucha zangu.
Cause mimi mwenyewe hata sielewi nini unaona kwa hiyo takataka ya mwanamke. I think ini through personal mama tupatia. Liam yuko. Wacha kugagelele hapa, utamsha madam.
All this is because of you. Now wake up. Wake up and clear your mess.
Life kupia Kenya una deserve.
Are you losing your mind or your family?
Starting this Monday 18th at 8 p.m. only on NTV.
Are you ready for the show?
This week on Churchill Show.
Churchill, every time he comes, the first thing he says, you must have been a beautiful baby.
Tell them you must have been a beautiful baby.
But yeah.
She's your lady, your business partner. Hata baba yangu na mama yangu walianza hivyo.
Ukitaka kujua mwaka ya demu, unaanzaga tu randomly kutusima mwaka. Na mademu wa 90s ubievaje? Mimi ni watu wa 1.
And welcome back. Now, before we get to the next story, I'm so sorry, Kido, we didn't get your opinion on the other story right before the break, and I know you wanted a lot you had a lot to say, so you can
actually
share that
I
now.
have a few just to add on what you guys said. Nadhani nimesumarize yote. What I'll say is that it's so shameful to see, you know, an official doing that to a student. Hata huyo student mwenye hajapata ID. So I feel like teachers should protect our students. I don't know if our students are safe out there. Hopefully to see action being taken on this, because this is just one of the cases. I don't know kama kuna cases zingine before ambao tujui, but it's so sad to see someone on a seat for an examination ambayo itaturn life yake and end up kuwa unconscious, alafu ana faint and miss out exams. What if alikuwa disrupted for the longest time?
Yeah, thank you so much, Kido. Now,
do you want me to read a couple of what these guys are saying?
Yeah, go ahead. On
we
Twitter?
were talking, on Twitter. Yeah. First of all, there's a guy who is called Lucky Watch. Lucky Watch is my friend. He works for Business Daily. He graduated today. Sasa amenitumia message, usiponitaja kwa show leo. What do you mean nisipokutaja? Okay, anyway. Congratulations, my brother. Now read and learn. Michael Mitch is saying, Kenyans, Amina, before you came, we were talking about Calligraph and his house. Kenyans, when one is succeeding, they won't lack anything to say. Let Calligraph live large. All the posh vehicles he has, kwani where are they to be parked?
No, but you know, we're just being honest. In as much as I'm going to get into a lot of trouble for saying this, they're not saying that... Hi, manzi, even don't nakusanga tu marafiki. This is why people refuse to come on my show. Coach, carry on. Let me just say
yeah.
No, I'm just saying that clever. It could look better, bro. That's what I'm like. If you spend 10 million on a house, you want it to look a certain way, but carry on.
You know what people are forgetting, Amina? This house is already built. Kitu yobaki ni interior design. Hiyo inaweza fanywa anytime, any day. So no, that's what I'm saying. He's still working, he's still earning, he can change it. Things can change. This studio did not look like this 20 years ago. Mr. Mawada is saying Papa John's ako tu sawa lakini sofa moja jameni.
We have a lot to talk about. Patch, carry on. Is that your last tweet?
Okay, this is my last one. Azumi is saying hatuwezi toshea town sisi wote, and Nyata is right. Build home kwenye umetoka, Nairobi si kila kitu.
Okay, sawa.
We are also talking about to build in Ushago or not.
Okay, yes. So I wanted to quickly talk about a school called Mwaani or Moeni Secondary School. It's in Makueni. I got this in my DM. Okay, now students were suspected of striking in school. So the teachers decided at random to pick 35 students who they would beat continuously for 1 week. Students broke their limbs, some of them broke their arms, broke their legs. The teachers were beating them mercilessly because they thought that, you know, if they punished these students, then no one would have, you know, the audacity to try and strike. But it turns out that it was all false and nothing, you know, of that nature was ever rumored, and they were beaten all because of no reason. Now, we would have had a reporter talk about this story, but apparently the reporter also is the one who transports something to the school. So he is also, there's a tender that he's the one who is responsible for, and he makes money from that. And it's so unfortunate because we see these types of stories all around the country. Yeah. If you have a story, if you could try DM the actual presenter, news anchor, or someone that you trust, because we cannot do this across board. We can't just say that everyone is honest and everyone is, you know, unbiased. It doesn't happen. And I'm so sorry to those students because they were beaten for, like I said, more than 1 week, and they were not eating, they were not sleeping. It was just so bad. If we could talk about the abuse children have gone through in this country in high school, we would go all night. So let's just move on to the next story, right? Okay. Now, former nominated Senator Millicent Omanga's lavish lifestyle and extreme luck with state appointments have got Kenyans turning their heads. Ms. Omanga, who served as a nominated senator between 2017 and 2022, has been trending top on X since Monday, immediately after she published on her Instagram account her newly acquired ride, a Bentley Bentiaga. Is it Bentiaga? I can't afford this, so I can't even pronounce it. Kido, how do you pronounce it?
Mi bado niko kwa Nissan.
Okay. So Bentley Bentiaga. I feel like that just sounds, it rolls off the tongue better. So Bentley Bentiaga, whose estimates show it starts from at least 27 million Kenya shillings. Now that depends on specs and year of manufacture. The purchase came exactly 6 months after Ms. Omanga announced acquiring the latest Range Rover autobiography. You know, when you guys see me joining politics,
we will understand.
I just feel like
no,
we should
guys.
all, no, and I will, and I'm telling you, I will.
You buy, Amina?
I will.
No, I'm trying.
Yeah.
You know, I really do not know who this politician is. I'm trying to understand. Udi mwenye alisema nini akiwa bunge?
Alisema nikumbushe.
No, I do not know her. No, I'm not. It's not malice. It's not malice. I don't know her. I'm just trying to understand who she is, so that by the time tunafikia gari, I now know, is she the one who did what?
Kwacha alijaribu kiti. Lakini mambo ikakuwa vile ilikuwa kwacha. You can't.
No.
Even me, I'm just clocking onto Kwacha's question.
Yeah.
You see, for you to be this successful,
yes,
as a politician,
yes,
and as a policymaker,
yes,
that means that you can. I don't know if you guys saw the video, because Kwacha, I know you are often on TikTok.
Yes.
Did you see the scientist behind Ozempic?
Yes.
And how much money she makes.
Yes.
And how she said it's not about the money.
Yes.
And she doesn't care about that.
Yes.
So you're trying to ask, what was her Ozempic moment
exactly
that could have gotten her to the point where now she can afford the Bentley, whatever, what was it called? A big.
Bentley.
Hata siwezi zikumbuka jamani.
Bentley.
And all we're asking is for the government to make it okay for some of us to also be able to acquire some of these vehicles. But you know what? Nilisikia mahali walikuwa nasema, you know, we also need some officials to show us how our money is being spent. So
I'm trying to understand, because I know, is she the lady from Keroche? Is she the one who owns Keroche?
No, she's not.
So which company?
Biashara.
Wait, do you think she's the one who won the Nobel Peace Prize? No.
Maybe she's the one.
No, she passed.
No, Ngoja. No, I think I'm trying to get. Ama yendio Chief Justice. I'm trying to get.
Ama. I think she's the retired Attorney General. No?
Ama anakimbianga mbio.
Pali tunaanzia. Yeah.
Hapana si yeye.
Yeye mwanariadha.
Ngoja, anaweza kuwa ni yeye.
Ndio
umeuliza mwanariadha.
Ni Mkisi. Ni nani? The one who won the marathon. Anaitwa nani?
Hapana si yeye. Wait, do you think she's the one who came up with, what's the feeding program that Sakaja was also
Lisha.
Yeah, the one that was supported by
Dishi na county.
No, si yeye.
Ama ndio mama mtaani. Mama wata.
Ama ni model. Ni model.
Guys.
I don't know.
Come on, guys.
Yeye ni
ama ni yeye alianzisha climate
ama yeye ndio madhi wangara. Yeye ni nani?
Okay, listen. Guys. The thing is, our sister, whom we share blood with, because
no, we don't. No, we don't. No, Nyata, you.
Maybe he does.
I do.
We don't.
I do.
Not share any blood.
Sema ni landlord wako. Sema ni landlord wako.
I share.
Sema ni landlord wako.
I share.
Tumia neno
I share blood with.
Yes.
She's a renowned businesswoman.
Selling.
Rumor has it that she has a fleet of liquor stores. Rumor has it that she also, you know, does very many business.
So she owns EABL?
No, she doesn't. I don't know. I don't know.
No. She's the main distributor of EABL in East Africa.
Yeah.
For you to own a car that costs above how much?
Two of them.
No, it's not 50, bro. It's not.
Because maybe the picture I saw is the last time I saw the lady was selling bed sheets. I don't know. I'm trying to. Mimi simjui. That's why I'm trying to be made to understand.
You know what? What you don't understand, Kwach, just like me, what you're struggling with is that this is a hustler economy. This is the hustler government. This is the government where you can make it as someone who used to sell softer in Uhuru Park, and then now you can, you can be executive in government. That's what you're not understanding, and I feel like we're doing the wrong job. This isn't working for us.
Kwani tuko Kenya gani?
Kenya kwanza.
But there's another nini nataka kido, maybe you are the one who can clarify. I saw it. Unaweza kuwa na information.
Nenda hapo.
Mambo ya Valley Road.
Mambo ya town.
Acheni tuende kidogo. You know, my friend Millicent Omanga is also good friends with Millicent. Millie Waterens. So I think me na joining your squad. Hii squad ya hii show ainisaidi. But I want us to talk about another story. Okay? So now a court has ruled that the wealth of at least 10 suspects, who went on a shopping spree for high-end vehicles after fraudulently, registering over 120,000 lines. 120,000 lines and using them to borrow at least 449 million Kenya shillings from Fuliza, they have to be fortified to the state. High Court Judge Justice Patrick Okwaro Otieno says the luxurious vehicles and motorcycles bought by the suspects in cash should be registered in the Asset Recovery Agency's name, as they are unable to explain how they generated the wealth used to acquire them. This is what we're talking about, Kido. So were you a businessman who you were just so successful? You know, people hate Trump so much.
Yeah.
And I don't want to discuss his, you know, weird ways
merits or demerits
of conducting business. However, what we do have is years and years of reported successful business transactions.
Really?
Yeah.
Successful?
Yes.
Because of him?
Because of him. You see, what you guys don't understand is that the person who is named Kwach, it's not the person who did the work, the person who...
No, I mean, I'm just wondering, because this has been debunked before. As in,
the
successful businesses is what he says. It's not what has been proven, because business,
not
the success
Trump
of a
Towers.
business is profit versus investment.
No, not the Trump Towers spread across different parts of the globe.
No.
You see, when you're talking about Elon Musk and you say Elon Musk has never really created anything.
Yes.
And he's just, you know, piggybacking over the success of other people. I understand.
Yeah.
Because that has been proven. Not for Trump, because we see Trump Towers all around the world.
Well.
And now he has taken over the free world, so.
Okay. So we were talking earlier on about our 10 suspects ambao wameiba pesa mingi sana. They've registered more than 120,000 line. Unajua hao ni vijana ambao wamekuwa idle, vijana ambao wali graduate, gavana promise jobs. So wamejaribu kuwa tu creative kidogo, but the manner at which wamekuwa kiba pia is so shocking. What I'll hope to see, hii energy yote imekuwa kushika vijana wadogo 10 tu. Imuliko tu pale kwenye parliament kidogo hivi. Wale viongozi ambao wana state na magari kubwa watu wa masuti hao.
Watu wa Bentley.
You know, I mean, what mimi shocked me about this story? Yes, kushikwa, mnafaa kushikwa, crime does not pay. Lakini the amount of work these people have done. Do you know you cannot register with the same ID? You cannot register more than 3 SIM cards.
Yeah.
So for you to be able to register 120,000 SIM cards, it means you had to have sijui ID ya watu wangapi, you had to compromise sijui how many agents, and then also as well, now for you to have a Fuliza limit that can borrow up to 449 million.
Hiyo ni Fuliza?
Hiyo ni Fuliza?
Yeah. Bro, Fuliza yenu ni how much nyata? Nianza na wewe?
Yeah, Fuliza yangu, I don't use Fuliza. It's a product I don't use. I was struggling to understand.
Time is done, guys. Yes, Nyata, you're literally the one saying goodbye for us.
So. Oh yeah, so
4 seconds.
Wajitume.
Watu wajitume?
Wanunue ma Bentley.
Okay, thank you so much, Kwach. We don't have any. You've talked the entire show. Kido?
Thank you so much. See you next
Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. So we will catch you at 10 p.m. We have an amazing show. I can't list the people who will be joining the show because we don't have time, but time now for the 9 p.m. news. My name is Amina Abdi Rabah. Thank you so much to Kwach for starting the show. I will catch you at 10 p.m. Good evening. Bye.
Welcome to San Francisco. The best players in the world.
It's the most beautiful thing you could ever witness.
Welcome to the official start of All-Star Weekend at NBA All-Star Celebrity Game. Let's go, baby! Stars of the future here on display. The lights are on, the stars are here.
Baadaye heartfelt message ya kumshow thanks. T's and C's apply. Cadbury, there's a glass and a half in everyone.
Are you ready for the show?
This week on Churchill Show.
Churchill, every time he comes, the first thing he says, you must have been a beautiful baby.
Tell them you must have been a beautiful baby.
But yeah.
She's your lady, your business partner. Hata baba yangu na mama yangu walianza hivyo.
Utakujua mwaka ya demu, unazaga tu randomly kutusima mwaka. Na mademu wa 90s ubievaje? Mimi ni watu wa one.
This is NTV.
Watching NTV Weekend Edition this Friday, the 15th of November. Many thanks for joining us on the broadcast. My name is Michelle Ngele Odhiambo. We have a nail-biting podcast prepared for you tonight, including details of the latest on the exam cheating scandal surrounding the KCSE examinations. That's coming up later on the broadcast. But first, a look at the news making headlines. Just what did the Catholic bishops stir up? It's raining rebukes.
We must be careful to be factual, lest we become victims of the things we accuse others of doing.
You cannot preach doom and call yourself a bishop.
From fellowship to fellowship, we also have the defenders of the clergy. Also tonight, more than 70 teachers have been arrested for aiding KCSE exam fraud.
We have taken over their phones because these are the gadgets that they use in the examination malpractices to destroy the future of our young Kenyans.
We tell you how these teachers are also cheaters. Plus,
public trust does remain low. Trust loss is very hard to win back.
If you have given birth to an institution or a child, you nurture them. You don't call them ugly every day.
Judiciary on trial amid efforts to dispel allegations of executive capture. And Raila Odinga paints MPs as greedy and in defense of impunity.
MPs want to have their way with the abrogation of the constitution.
Whoever was advising him on the comments to make probably gave him the wrong data.
NTV Weekend Edition with Michelle Ngele Odhiambo.
Good evening and welcome to the broadcast. David Agondoa is the sign language interpreter. Now, the tug of the judiciary being under the influence of the executive and the legislature is one the courts are yet to shake off, as Kenyans feel the heat of what they deem as justice not being achieved, even in the courts. Now, Chief Justice Martha Koome attributes the failure to have effective delivery of justice to underfunding by the executive and parliament. Koome adds that the limited number of judges have to take work home and even lose sleep. And NTV's David Mudhoka reports there is keen attention on how much justice will be served for victims of atrocities during the Gen Z-led protests when matters get to the judiciary.
And the presentation of this report really...
The heat in the judiciary's kitchen has been rising, with claims that the courts have been captured by the two other arms of government.
The surveys indicate that many Kenyans, including the younger generations, still perceive the judiciary as too susceptible to bribery and too prone to political pressure.
The Law Society of Kenya will continue to work hand in hand with the judiciary, but will also remain your critical side. We will congratulate you when you have done well, and we will criticize you when you fail to uphold the rule of law.
Chief Justice Martha Koome, while at the launch of the State of the Judiciary and Administration of Justice report, stood in defense of her arm of government.
If you have given birth to an institution or a child, you nurture them. You don't call them ugly every day. You don't call them incompetent every day.
Among the key frustrations for many Kenyans is how the Gen Z-led protests played out and what they spoke to the country and the drive for justice for victims, which remains unachieved.
In my 22 years of service in Parliament, that was my lowest moment. It's my prayer, and I have faith that we'll be able to work together, we'll be able to convince our youth, because the events of that day also reminded me that we are not doing well, all of us as public officers, when it comes to public trust. Our people seems to believe negative things easily than things that are positive, no matter how many times we repeat positive things.
I think that the Gen Z protests over the summer were a litmus test for Kenya's democracy and for her judicial system. And I think it is fair to say that we're still collectively waiting to see full justice done.
Among the concerns around the independence of the courts over the years has been the collusion of the legislature and the executive in dealing with the judiciary through suppressed budgets, especially when courts have unfavorable rulings. And this still remains a pain point and has been for the last 3 consecutive years.
We received 22.4 billion, which was significantly below what was budgeted for. As you know, we budgeted for 43.1 billion.
As a result, Koome says the judiciary has been significantly understaffed, an issue that she says denies judges sleep at night.
Before I became a judge, I never imagined a fire would intrude my bedroom. But I can assure you I sleep with several of them. And so are these judges who are in front of you, who have to wake up in the middle of the night and catch up with a paragraph or 2. Or sometimes you cannot even sleep because the solution has come in form of a dream and you have to wake up and write it down. Am I right?
Government leaders present promised to allocate the judiciary more funding in the coming financial year, while applauding the institution for opening new courts, digitizing court functions, and accelerating the delivery of justice, despite receiving less than half of what was budgeted for. Despite having to depend on the executive and the legislature mainly for funding, the judiciary has yet again been urged to execute its mandate independently by upholding the rule of law always. David Muthoka, NTV from the Milimani Law Courts, Nairobi.
Also, a 3-month stalemate over the division of exchequer revenue between the national governments and the counties has forced Orange Democratic Movement Party leader Raila Odinga to delve back into local affairs as he calls for a quick resolution to the stalemate. Odinga is now blaming members of the National Assembly for the impasse, citing their unconstitutional desire to be implementers of development projects as the reason for the standstill. Here's NTV's senior reporter Ibrahim Karanja with the details, as well as responses by various leaders in the National Assembly.
The past 3 months have seen Raila Odinga steer clear of Kenya's internal political matters, primarily on account of his bid for the chairmanship of the African Union Commission. But the glaring crisis in counties and a persisting standoff over the division of revenue formula seem to have drawn Odinga back to a press conference podium. With just over 6 weeks left before the 2024-2025 financial year hits the half-year mark and a persisting stalemate, Odinga is training his guns on members of the National Assembly.
Is that this standoff is about a power grab and an assault on the Constitution that members of the National Assembly want to execute, and which will amount to a cruel betrayal of the people and an overhaul of our structure of governance.
For the past 137 days, allocation of monies to counties has been pegged on half of the last financial year's allocation. These two being disbursed late into the months. Initially, the counties had a 400.1 billion shillings allocation, but the rejection of the 2024 finance bill is forcing a review on the allocation.
The National Assembly is going all out to reduce revenue allocation to counties in complete disregard of the Constitution and the recommendations of the Senate. This move is not only illegal and unconstitutional, it also sets an extremely dangerous precedent, which, if allowed to stand, will lead to a slow but steady strangulation and eventual killing of counties.
Two sittings of a mediation committee comprising of members of the Senate and the National Assembly have in the past week ended without white smoke. According to Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi, who appeared before a parliamentary committee Thursday, allocations to counties for the month of October have not been paid, as November's is soon falling due.
Execution or implementation of programs has never been and can never be the job of members of parliament without creating a serious accountability crisis in our governance system to the detriment of us all.
Because I know his heart is really for devolution to work, please hold a meeting with the governors and tell them to work. They are not working. Counties are not working. Stop focusing on small amounts of NGCDF of 100 million. Focus on your 9-10 billion that you get per county and show us what you've done with it. For members of parliament, please people should stop making us their punching bags.
The National Assembly has a responsibility. Members of parliament are also elected and they also have a role. We will do our work, and when it comes to representing the people by requesting for projects to be done within the constituencies, that's a role we've been given by the Constitution.
Raila Odinga's dive deep into the conversation about allocation of revenue to counties is one that is likely to elicit reactions from members of parliament and other political players alike, especially going into the weekend. Now, what this does to his largely calm political game in the country at the height of his AUC campaigns is one that pundits will be keen to follow and document in the coming days. Ibrahim Karanja, NTV.
To education now, where more than 70 teachers have been arrested for aiding with cheating during the 2024 Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education examination that began over 3 weeks ago. Over 20 schools are also under investigation for abetting cheating. On Friday, 7 teachers were arrested in Nandi County after being found distributing examination material during the exams. Here's Bridget Ngana with the details.
The proverbial 40th day was here for teachers in Nandi County as they were arrested at Samoei, Lelwak and Kamimei secondary schools on Friday morning for allegedly distributing the day's examination papers on social media.
These phones were used to photograph the examination materials, and then the examination materials circulated on social media. But what they did not know that we always detect it immediately and we take action as required by the law.
We want to have results with integrity. Yenye mtoto wetu akipita form 4, hata akienda Amerika, anaingia hizo mashule za huko bila maneno. Sisi tuko hapa kuchunga hiyo mtihani, tusiende kwenda kukoroga ati mnaonyesha mnadanganya na mnadanganya tena wazazi. Ati tumepata paper ya English, tumepata paper ya biology, uongo mtupu.
Last year, the Kenya National Examinations Council, NEC, withheld the results of more than 200 students at Samoei Secondary School for more than a month while investigating exam irregularities at the school. The arrest of these teachers comes a day after a 23-year-old man was arrested in Nakuru for allegedly distributing examination materials on the messaging platform Telegram at a fee. NTV has established that more than 70 teachers have been arrested over KCSE 2024 exam malpractice, with over 20 schools being investigated. Further, we have found that teachers are at the heart of the leakage of examination material to learners, and that most cheating takes place before the afternoon examination. This is the flow of the process. When the examination papers are opened, the invigilators either take photos or give them out for photocopying. The leaked papers are then handed to the subject teachers, who are mostly employed by boards of management to quickly work out the answers, which then find their way back into the examination room before the exam begins. The afternoon window period is also a time when the senior invigilators have left the examination stations. These are the players in the cheating web that involves the use of digital and hard copy means to facilitate cheating during the exams. Principals, who are the center managers, supervisors, invigilators, other teachers, non-teaching staff, and parents who sometimes pose as staff at the school to get access to the examination. Education Principal Secretary Bello Kipsang has admitted to teachers being the weakest link in the fight against cheating during KCSE. Last year, more than 120 teachers were implicated in cheating, while more than 4,000 candidates were also found by NEC to be cheating. Some of the reasons attributed to the prevalence of cheating during KCSE include pressure from parents to post good grades, the desire to secure promotion by the Teacher Service Commission, and monetary rewards from parents. Cheating during national examination is nothing new here in Kenya. In fact, this year, the Ministry of Education enlisted the services of the Communications Authority to help them bar the usage of Telegram, a social media app that has been linked to the distribution of examination material. The NEC Act of 2012 caps the punishment for anyone involved in examination cheating to a prison term of not more than 5 years or a fine not exceeding 1 million shillings. Bridget Ngana, NTV, Nakuru.
President William Ruto has fired back at Catholic bishops who criticized his administration, urging them to remain factual in their public statements to avoid spreading misinformation. Speaking Friday at a graduation ceremony at Tangaza University, an institution owned by the Catholic Church, Ruto appealed to religious leaders to work with the government to foster national unity and build a stronger Kenya. However, the opposition has slammed the government, questioning its defensive approach towards the remarks. Margaret Kimathi has the details. All right, we'll bring you that report in the course of this live broadcast. But let's catch up what's happening across the borders. And 5 days into COP29, and former Irish President Mary-Therese Robinson and former United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon have voiced a resounding call for an immediate and comprehensive reform of the UN climate process. The urgent plea comes in response to troubling remarks made by the president of Azerbaijan, the host country of this year's conference, who provocatively described oil and gas as a gift from God. Here's Zainab Bendati with the latest details and intricacies from Baku, Azerbaijan.
Day 5 of COP29, and we've entered the slow part of these talks, whereby things move ridiculously slowly. It takes a while before we get to hear anything, and that's because the draft negotiating text, there are more than 100 items on the agenda, and for more than half of them, no draft texts have come out yet. And for those that have come out, it's still that time where things are being added into this text, so you can't say conclusively that this is what has been discussed. However, Day 5 started off on an explosive start when some world leaders issued a letter to the UN demanding that this COP process be overhauled. In fact, what they want is for fossil fuel countries that support fossil fuels, including Azerbaijan, which is hosting this COP, be kicked out of the COP, because why would you be hosting a COP if you don't believe in the COP itself? And in fact, the Azerbaijani president is on record having said that fossil fuels to them as Azerbaijan are a blessing from God. And so these world leaders want this changed. And so today has been a day of reactions to these letters, because these leaders include former UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and Christiana Figueres, who's the former executive secretary of the UNFCCC, and Miss Mary Robinson, who is the former president of Ireland. Here are some of those reactions.
We know that 1,700 fossil fuel lobbyists are here at COP29. That is larger than most country delegations, except for 3 country delegations, including the host country delegations. Those interests are not here to drive ambition. In fact, they're here to take us backward.
And what that means is that COP30 in Brazil offers an opportunity to reflect on how we can do things better. And I think what we need to do then is to move from a negotiating approach, which is zero-sum and confrontational, to one of cooperation.
Today, Kenya also held its first delegation meeting chaired by Environment PS Festus Ngeno. CS Aden Duale has had to travel back to Kenya for some urgent matters, but he's expected to be back here by Sunday in time for the AMSEN and in time for the ministerials, which begin next week. And so PS Ngeno wanted to hear from the Kenyans who are here. What are the agenda items they're following? What are the strategies? Are we in line with what Africa wants? And what do we hope to get out of this?
We are moving on and soldiering on as a Kenyan delegation, especially under the auspices of the African Group of Negotiators. As a country and as a AGN, we are working on the negotiations under the new collective finance program, the NCQG, and the AGN, as approved by AMSEN. We are pushing for $1.3 trillion for purposes of mitigation and adaptation, as indicated yesterday. And we are looking forward that this will be shared in a 50-50 equal basis. 50% goes to mitigation, especially programs on mitigation, and 50% on programs that are under adaptation.
So as negotiations happen, there are also other meetings that happen, bilaterals, where countries engage other countries to see if they can get some of these monies away from the negotiating tables. And so far, Kenya is set to receive 660 million shillings from the UK government, money that is intended to support a project for weather and climate information services, a project that was started in 2015 to provide support to vulnerable communities against the impacts of flooding, against the impacts of climate change. And so this is just week 1. Week 2, we see what happens, and Kenya says it is still keen to make sure that everything it does here is aligned to the African agenda.
And that comprehensive update by Zainab Bondati brings us to a break on NTV Weekend Edition. Much more still to come, including the latest in the world of business with Nina Shaban. Do stay with us.
Rahisisha uwezo wako wa ushindi kwa kukuwa memba wa Loto Moto, na ni rahisi. Dial *570#. Ukiwa memba ni rahisi kufika kwenye jukwaa hili ili kujaribu mchezo wetu wa Loto Moto Show. Na pia kama memba unajipa nafasi rahisi ya kuingia kwenye promotion zetu zinazokupa nafasi ya kujishindia chapaa na zawadi kibao kama TV, friji, pikipiki, mashamba na pia magari. Kuwa memba ni *570#. Tushinde kama members.
New Downy Perfume Collection. Sometimes I need a scent to keep me calm amongst the chaos, or a light fragrance that keeps me fresh in the heat, or a perfume that feels elegant all day and into the night, lasting longer than expensive perfumes. New Downy Lavender Calm, Sunrise Fresh, and sweet elegance, freshness that inspires confidence. Your dreams have come true. Try it for only 20 shillings.
Tired of the hassle of finding guarantors every time you need a loan? Frustrated by receiving a smaller loan than you applied for because of insufficient guarantors? Experiencing loan delays because of liquidity issues? Worry no more. Join Nation Sacco today and experience a financial partner that works for you. Call us or visit us at IPS Building on 10th floor, Kimathi Street, Nairobi. We are open to all. Nation Sacco, fulfilling dreams.
Hey, ungependa kuwa mshindi na Lucky Box? Ni rahisi sana.
Bonyeza *463# uwe mshindi.
Kuna vitu vingi sana vya kushinda,
kama vile TV, kuka, washing machine, fridge, kipiki, pesa na hata gari, na sio gari tu, Subaru.
Na kuna jackpots kadha wa kadha. Kuna power jackpot ya 1.9 million.
Mega jackpot 2.5 million.
Na super Sunday ya 3 million Kenya shillings. Kila mtu anaweza kuwa mshindi. Bonyeza *463#. Uwe mshindi.
Kuchagua box ni kuchagua chapa.
Kumbuka, kila unapocheza Lucky Box unasaidia watoto kusoma.
Show off your best skin with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion. Now with 5-in-1 complete care. The deeply nourishing formula prevents your skin from drying with precious cocoa butter and deep moisture for smooth and healthy looking skin. Step out in confidence with our most complete care from the world's #1 skincare brand.
Baadaye auntie. Mkuu, umetufikisha home poa. Asante. Pia wewe pata kakitu ikufikishe home.
Nunua any 280-gram Cadbury Dairy Milk Packs ama Cadbury Drinking Chocolate. Visit cadbury.africa uandikie someone special your heartfelt message ya kumshow thanks. T's and C's apply. Cadbury, there's a glass and a half in everyone.
Are you ready for the show?
This week on Churchill Show.
Churchill, every time he comes, the first thing he says, you must have been a beautiful baby.
Tell them you must have been a beautiful baby.
But yeah.
She's your lady, your business partner. Hata baba yangu na mama yangu walianza hivyo.
Utakujua mwaka ya demu, unazaga tu randomly kutusima mwaka. Na mademu wa 90s ubievaje? Mimi ni watu wa 1.
A very good evening to you. I do hope that the Friday night is being kind to you. Let's take a look at the business news, and my name is Nina Shaban. Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi says that the privileges and immunities extended to the Gates Foundation are meant to facilitate seamless operation of international organizations. The PCS, who also doubles up as the Foreign Affairs Minister, further defended the privileges and immunities of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation Order 2024, published in the Kenya Gazette dated October 4th, saying that it is geared towards impactful programs in the country, adding that the Gates Foundation has met legal requirements and its host country agreement, as well as the privileges associated with it, have been approved by Cabinet.
We take the concerns of our citizens seriously. I wish to clarify with utmost respect the rationale behind our decisions. Diplomatic privileges and immunities are tools, not trophies. They are meant to facilitate the seamless operation of organizations that advance public good, much like the foundational principles of the Vienna Convention. These privileges are not a blank check, but a carefully calibrated mechanism to enable organizations like the Gates Foundation to deliver impactful programs without bureaucratic hindrance.
In other news, Kabasit Investments PLC has cut its reliance on electricity supplied by the Kenya Power by 25% after installing solar plants to reduce operating costs and improve energy reliability. The company is among those that have invested in solar plants to power their energy-hungry factories at a time when the cost of electricity supplied by the Kenya Power has risen significantly in the past 5 years. Kabasit says that it has, in the past 12 months, installed 2 solar plants which have already supported the business to reduce grid electricity consumption by over 25%, and the firm added that electricity tariffs increased in the year ended July, indicating that the solar plants helped cushion it against a higher bill if it was fully reliant on the national grid. All right, so it was a fulfilling and thought-provoking close to the 3rd edition of the Global Data Science and Artificial Intelligence Summit, marking a milestone in the collaboration between Nation Media Group, iLab Africa and Strathmore University. The summit climaxed with the Nation Hackathon Awards, which saw students and young innovators from across the country showcase their AI-driven solutions aimed at bridging the gap in mainstream and print media in relation to data consumption among consumers and target audiences. The competition featured a variety of innovative projects, with the top 3 winners awarded for their groundbreaking work in applying artificial intelligence to meet the needs of modern media consumers. And the winning projects demonstrated the power of AI to create tailored content and improve the delivery of media products to diverse audiences, contributing to the ongoing evolution of the media industry.
We also need to consider integrating AI into our operations and our audience engagement. So we are very religious in looking at how we integrate data to inform decisions around technology, especially AI. We are managing change very carefully to ensure that how we identify use cases, roll them out and disseminate them is also very important. And finally, we are also very keen on introducing human empathy, design thinking in some of the use cases we are doing, because there can be a plethora of use cases, but the ones that work are the ones that have design thinking and empathy with them.
Our solution basically uses a geolocation feature that automatically fetches news automatically from your phone by detecting the location where you are and then providing the localized news content. And then from the localized news content, we aim to drive revenue by providing advertisements and also a subscription model.
Well, that's it for Business News tonight. My name is Nina Shaban, wishing you a lovely night and a lovely weekend as well. After the break, Michelle and Geller will be back with more news.
I'll have the usual on the rocks, double.
I'll have whatever he's having.
Real recognize real. No added sugar, no preservatives. 100% real fruit.
Ho, ho, ho! Christmas imefika na zawadi zake zimefika. Na kama wewe ni member wa Loto, usiogope. Itisha, tutakufikishia. Nini unataka? Ikuwe ni yako ama ya mwenzako. Dial *570#. Chagua option 5. Uwe member. Alafu tuma ujumbe mfupi kwa 40090. Weka wishlist yako. Ni nini unataka? Unataka fridge? Unataka microwave? Unataka pikipiki? Unataka baiskeli? Unamtakia mwenzako mbuzi? Tuma! Christmas hii Santa yuko na zawadi ziko kibao. Wapi ombi lako? Kuwa member. Kisha 40090. Tuma your wish list. Unatamani nini Christmas hii?
Enjoy all-in-one payment solutions for your business with Network. Accept multiple payment methods and process all your business transactions on one device. Whether it's M-Pesa, Airtel Money, Visa, MasterCard, Apple Pay, or Google Pay. Network does it all. It's faster, it's better, it's smarter. Get it for your business today by calling 0730-847-847.
Tarehe 4
On 4th
hadi tarehe 15
up to 15th of December.
mwezi wa 12, Mungu anatupa nguvu kupitia kwa damu na mwili wa mwanawe.
prices this Black November na Carrefour. Day 16 of daily crazy offers. Massive deals, bigger discounts, lower prices, unbelievable prices. Shop and save more than ever na Carrefour.
Welcome back. Investing in children, regardless of their background or fortunes, is not only rewarding, but also of great value for the future of the country, the continent, and indeed the world. This was articulated during the Muli Children's Family MCF celebration of 35 years of rescuing and empowering vulnerable children. Its founder, Dr. Charles Muli, a former street boy turned successful entrepreneur, says the organization has provided shelter, education, and support to thousands of abandoned, orphaned, and neglected children. Beneficiaries shared their inspirational stories, while speakers highlighted the foundation's success in addressing child labor, abuse, and lack of education.
To serve God through humanity. Children, to have you all as people living together in harmony, and the people also, young people who have gone through this program, be greater men and the women. They are seated here, and others are very far in overseas. And I believe that within the next 10 years, 20 years, we shall have senators, governors, we shall have, the mayors, what kind of people? The big people, and the great men who will be safeguarding our constitution in our country.
Well, that report brings us to a close. An NTV Weekend Edition. Many thanks for watching us tonight. My name is Michelle Ngele Odhiambo. David Agondoa is the sign language interpreter. On behalf of the entire team here at NTV, good evening. Let's leave you with News Court coming up next.
Hii season hatuchezi tu, tunasaidia na tunashinda. Kupitia *570# na kuchagua option number 4, you stand a chance ya kujishindia this beautiful, sleek Toyota Probox. With a 1500cc engine, fuel consumption iko chini. Exterior iko sawa, and let's not forget, iko na a spacious boot. Iko na sound system mzuri sana with speakers on both sides, phone holder na touchscreen monitor. Ukijishindia hii gari, there is so much you can do. Kama ni kuendea stock sokoni, hii gari itakufaa. Kama ni transportation, iko sawa. Dial *570#, chagua option number 4 na uchomoke na this Toyota Probox hii December.
Introducing Festive Cakes.
We have some delightful snacks for all of you.
The Festive Simbella Cake. Indulge in the pleasure of a cone-shaped cake that's bursting with flavors.
Where did you come from?
Ham. So this is where the magic happens. This is for you kids.
Festive Cupcakes.
Thank you.
Perfect treat to share with friends and family.
Now for your kids' school snacks, hakuna stress.
Festive Brink Cakes. The perfect blend of sweetness and softness.
And now this is for you, Dad, and your office mate.
Festive Pound Cake. This sumptuous cake will leave you craving for more. Taste the magic with our Festive Cakes from DPL Festive Bakery. Delight with every bite.
Kote nchini mbele tuendelee, mbele Kenya twende mbele,
Kenya twende mbele. NCBA, go for it. Do not miss food
Packaging and Hospitality Expo 2024. Connect with companies from over 20 countries. Meet local suppliers, manufacturers, government buyers, hoteliers, and other industry professionals at Sarit Expo Center from 20 to 22 November, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Check this out. You want this? Win 35 million Kenyan shillings.
Win big with 22bet. Cancel cash, bikes, fancy car, and even a house of your dreams. Visit our website and take your chance. 22bet always pays. Bet responsibly.
My name is Mariam Bishar.
Most bankable host Brian Aselli.
And we bring you the Morning Fix. Shimano is in the building as promised.
Yes.
Every day is a different discussion on something you care about.
And we want to hear from you. That's why we want to hear your say.
So we've got star-studded guests, the people you want to hear from, the people you want to connect with, and
all the celebrities will be in studio. We'd like you to pick up that phone and have a chat with them.
Without that project, I would not have done anything else that I've done before because it was kind of like...
Then, yeah, when I was coming to Kenya now on my route of, wanting to make music.
But Friday, guys.
Friday is where we have all the fun. There is mad fun with
Aseli, DJ E, good vibes, great conversation, artists from all over the continent and more. So keep it 96.3
Nation FM.
Je, ungependa kuwa mshindi na Lucky Box? Ni rahisi sana.
Bonyeza *463# uwe mshindi.
Kuna vitu vingi sana vya kushinda.
Kama vile TV, kuka, washing machine, fridge, kipiki, pesa na hata gari. Na sio gari tu, Subaru.
Na kuna jackpots kadha wa kadha. Kuna power jackpot ya 1.9 million.
Mega jackpot 2.5 million.
Na super Sunday ya 3 million Kenya shillings. Kila mtu anaweza kuwa mshindi. Bonyeza *463#. Uwe mshindi.
Kuchagua box ni kuchagua chapa.
Kumbuka, kila unapocheza Lucky Box unasaidia watoto kusoma.
Tired of the hassle of finding guarantors every time you need a loan? Frustrated by receiving a smaller loan than you applied for because of insufficient guarantors? Experiencing loan delays because of liquidity issues? Worry no more. Join Nation Sacco today and experience a financial partner that works for you. Call us or visit us at IPS Building on 10th floor, Kimathi Street, Nairobi. We are open to all. Nation Sacco, fulfilling dreams.
Babies play around and then, oops, Morphix absorb like whoop. Imagine, haiwezi link in 50 different movements. Makofi to both babies and Morphix. Renewed Morphix, ultimate quality.
Do you want this? So up on the Bado Tapata, win 35 million Kenyan shillings.
Win big with 22bet. Cancel cash, bikes, fancy car, and even a house of your dreams. Visit our website and take your chance. 22bet always pays. Bet responsibly.
Grace Omutsani, or Miss Omuts, is 24 years old and has undergone liposuction and a Brazilian butt lift, or BBL. She is a business lady who runs short stay rentals and shares her experience and school of thought. Vox Populi, Vox Day. Various Kenyans share their views on cosmetic surgery. Dr. Kenneth Alwora is a board-certified plastic surgeon. He's also the Secretary General of the Kenya Society of Plastic, Reconstructive and Aesthetic Surgeons. He shall be submitting his expert view on the matter before this court. Lorna Nyatome is a wellness curator and psychotherapist. She's a certified nutritionist and mindfulness coach, and the 53-year-old mother of 3 is a fitness enthusiast who has done marathons, ultra runs, hiking, and runs a wellness program for women. She gives us her expert view on the matter before this court. Dr. David Kariuki is the Chief Executive Officer at the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council, KMPDC. He is also the Registrar and an ex-officio member, as well as Secretary to the Council at the regulator of the training, practice and licensing of medicine and dentistry practitioners, community oral health officers and healthcare institutions in Kenya. He gives the submissions of the state. My lords, ladyships, this court is now in session. News Court, the court of public interest. Justice Wanjiko, you, the people of Kenya, presiding. Your Honor, there has been ongoing discourse about plastic surgery and more specifically cosmetic surgery, more so following the death of Lucy Wamboi, who experienced severe complications after undergoing a cosmetic procedure at an aerobic clinic, Omnicare, operating as Body by Design. This, unfortunately, is not the only incident of a cosmetic surgery gone wrong in the country. That notwithstanding, many people still choose to have the procedures done. Some say it is just like a haircut or a new hairstyle, so they go on to do this surgical makeup. Some cite health or medical purposes, while some people claim that it is a matter of addressing an insecurity. So what is it all about, and why do people look to have body alterations? We prosecute. This court begins by hearing the story and rationale of a lady who has gone through liposuction as well as a Brazilian butt lift, or BBL, Grace Omutsani, or Miss Omuts.
So the procedure that I did is a cosmetic surgery. I did liposuction 360 degrees. That's removing of fats from the waist and the back. And the second procedure is called Brazilian butt lift, where those parts are transferred there. So what made me do the procedure was just to enhance the beauty that I had. So when you do this kind of surgery, remember it comes with some risks. Some of the risks and health implication that can come with this surgery is the obvious one is death. And it's mainly caused due to fat embolism, where the fats might be injected too deep into the muscles that's in the butt, and it causes the fats to go to the veins, yet you die. Medically, I don't know how to explain that, but I think that's what it's about. Then there's another thing with liposuction. If you don't get the massages, if they don't drain all the fluid, you can get something which is called seroma and fibrosis. But with massages, it will come to pass. There are things like infections. Yes, you can get infections. And also another thing you can get is headaches due to lack of sleep, because remember, this is a surgery you've done. After you do this kind of surgery, you're advised to eat. You're supposed to eat healthy, a lot of healthy proteins, a lot of healthy fats to feed the fats. Then you're supposed to avoid processed food, sugar, and unfortunately not everyone can do this surgery because of blood counts. So like me, I was taking vitamins, iron, supplements, folic acid, and also I was supposed to eat healthy even before the surgery. Before I did the surgery, obviously I could not tell my African parents. We all know what might come with that. So I went, I did the surgery. After I woke up from the surgery, I told everyone. At first they were shocked, but when they realized I do my videos on my YouTube that I am Miss of Moods, I was spreading awareness, and right now they are really supporting me. And not only my parents, but also my relatives and friends. So with this surgery, you need 690,000 Kenya shillings. That is the liposuction 360 degrees and the Brazilian butt lift. But I usually tell my people have at least 800,000 Kenya shillings, or at most 1 million Kenyan shillings. Because remember, after the surgery, there are things you will need to add. Number one, your diet is changing. Number two, you will need extra medication. There are the massages that I'm telling you. So the more money you have, the better for you. If you're doing it for yourself, then please go for it. Don't do it for anyone, because this kind of surgery, especially the recovering process, it's very hectic. Imagine for 6 weeks, you're not able to sit. Like for me, I'm just 5 weeks post-op. By that, I mean 5 weeks since I did the surgery. You're not able to sit. You cannot shower by yourself the first 2 weeks. You cannot bend. You cannot use the washroom for the first 2 weeks. You need assistance. So anyone who wants to do this, please do it if you want. Was this procedure a matter of me addressing my insecurities? My answer is no, because as I already said, I just did it to enhance what I have, and it's something unique, it is extraordinary, and it gives you what you want or what you've been looking for. The journey has not been easy, but at the same time, every time you get new things. The first time when I woke up from my surgery, I did it under local anesthetics. By that, I mean I was half awake, so I knew what was happening. The first time when I woke up, obviously it was a shock. Your body has swollen up so much, you look 3 times bigger the way you were before you went there. So 4 hours when I started feeling my legs, I woke up, I fell down again because I was dizzy. Because remember, liposuction is removing of fats, and the fats are in solid form. So before they do that type of surgery, they inject you with some fluids, which they need to be draining, and they will drain even up to 4 days or 5 days. So the first time I woke up from the bed, fluid was all over. I was dizzy. I thought, I'm done. This is it. I'm dead. But lucky for me, I'm okay till now. Then when then I was discharged the next day. That is the good thing. I was discharged the next day. But remember, you are wrapped in pads, maternity pads. You are soaked in very tight clothes because they have removed fat. Now you have loose skin, and it cannot stay like that. So I went home not knowing what was coming. Every day I'm draining. I have to go for the massages. Yes, you have to go for at least 10 massages to remove the fluid. And it was hectic. It was painful. You sleep on your stomach. Up to now, I sleep on my stomach, which is hard. You don't get any sleep. And that's so good. I've started sitting a little bit. 10 minutes after every 1 hour. But it's not easy, guys. We do take sitting for granted. Apart from that, every day you wake up, you see some good changes. Some other days you're swollen, but we still trust and appreciate the journey. So the journey has been good. At the same time, it has not been good, but you're still pushing on.
Your Honor, this is quite the matter of interest and concern. This court tables the views of some members of the public on the same.
And there's no way we can contradict God's creation. Therefore, I think as people prepare, or as women prepare to look more beautiful or more resilient or more opuric, I think it would be of essence for them to know that they are trying to contradict God's creation. And again, our doctors or those calling themselves cosmetic surgeons or kind of, they should also be very careful because they are dealing with human life.
Kwangu mimi sioni ikiwa sawa. Heri mtu tu akubali venye ako, because you can find the one for you mwenye atakubali venye uko, badala ya kuenda kuongeza mambo zingine, yet in the future unajua ita affect mwili yako.
If you want to go for it, go for it. In fact, it is you. It is, if something it is urging you to go and do beauty, go for it. We live once in this world. If you want to make your face look nice, go for it. If you want to make your body look nice, go for it. But go to appropriate people who understand about cosmetics. For me, I want to go and enlarge my breast. I like big boobs. If possible, if I'll get money, that is the first thing I will go for, to enlarge my breast. But the figure, I have it. But the only thing which I'm really wanting to do, and if you are there listening to me and you are able to sponsor for me to go and enlarge my breast, well and good.
And if it's for cosmetic purposes, it's a personal opinion on how you view yourself and your body. So if you want to do it, you're the one who's taking upon it. Like, you should be allowed to do it. There is no one who can tell you otherwise.
So mi upande wangu naona sitaweza, but whoever mwenye anaenda ajue kuna risk na pia kuna advantage na disadvantage.
Sikubaliani na plastic surgery kwa sababu when we read the Bible tunapata ya kwamba we are fearfully and wonderfully made. We are made in God's image na tunafaa kujiaccept venye tuko.
Sana wajipende. Just love yourself. Vile Mungu alikuumba, usifikirie kufanya vitu zingine zitakuharibia maisha. Just love yourself and take care of your own body.
I've never entertained the thought of having any type of surgery for beauty or cosmetic purposes. Yeah, but I embrace the natural way of improving and enhancing our beauty, all in respect to the fact that our bodies are beautiful as we are.
Ukiumbwa vile umeumbwa, kwa hivyo utaseka nayo.
Ukijermanake kuna vitu zingine zitakuja nyuma kama ugonjwa.
My lords, ladyships, there has been a lot of information on plastic surgery and specifically, as we've mentioned, cosmetic surgery that has been doing rounds, and some of it is incorrect. This court will now get the expert submissions of Dr. Kenneth Aluora. Now, as we've seen in the recent case that has been in the news, as well as other incidents in the past, there are those procedures that go wrong. So what are some of the risks that come with this that end up, unfortunately, in death, or at times it doesn't get to death, but it gets into just a very botched kind of situation?
There are a couple of risks, of course, like for any surgery that's long, you would have the blood clots that form. And that's why you'd see like many people will be told to start walking early. That is important to reduce the risk. There's bleeding, of course, if you're cut. So we have to do the blood tests before to just ensure that your blood is okay. And we have to have blood after in case we need to transfuse. There's infection. There are many risks, and some are tailored to the specific procedures, and that's why you have to to go to a qualified professional, that is a board-certified plastic surgeon, if you want to have plastic surgery. Otherwise, as they say, you usually pay the CEO for what goes wrong, not what goes right. Yeah, so you pay a doctor for the risks, not for the routine thing.
How should one handle the risks that are, that come together with these procedures?
First, everyone thinks there's a side effect to the cosmetic surgery, but if it's done properly, it's safe. And the only thing is maybe complications after surgery, which should be easy to treat depending on what they are. But side effects per se is if, like, for example, you eat bad food and you become big, I don't think there's any, I wouldn't say like off the top of my head if there's side effects, like the way if you take drugs, you might get something. But like, for example, if we are removing just your tummy, if it's out, I don't think it will affect you. Okay, so in the long run, actually, what we are seeing is, for example, the elderly who had implants done earlier, they come now to remove them, because you see, implants will retain their volume. So as you age, normally you'll see your breasts maybe becoming smaller and probably sagging, but the implants will just remain as full, right? And so when they get older, sometimes they think it's too big, so we can remove them. Yeah.
Now, from your experience, we have seen there's been an argument that some people do this out of trying to address insecurities or otherwise. Is this the case for most cases, or what is the situation like from where you stand?
Quality of life can be determined by many things, and one of them is insecurities, which, yes, it mostly addresses insecurities that will affect your quality of life. Like, for example, if your tummy looks big, or your nose looks crooked, or your breasts look smaller than you would prefer them to be, or a scar looks different than what you would want, or even your ears. For example, if your ears look like, we call them prominent ears or bat ears. So it's more of insecurities, and it's just to improve your quality of life. So yes, insecurities have a big deal, a great deal to play with why you're doing the surgery. But of course, it has to be realistic. Because, yeah, I mean, I have maybe insecurities of what my tongue. Like, is it safe to do it? Is it not safe? Is it realistic that, like, for example, there's something called body dysmorphia, and that is a psychiatric condition, right? And we have to assess that before, so that, because you might be thinking, like, for example, I might be telling you my breasts are too small, I need them added, like me. I'm telling you my breasts are too small. But you guys are looking at it and are my breasts too small? You see, it's a distortion of my image in my mind. So I'm seeing something that everyone else is not seeing. So it's even, when you look at it, when you Google, the first photo you'll see is the mirror image of someone who looks normal, and they're looking at the image in the mirror, and the image looks totally different. Yeah, so that one you have to also work hand in hand with the psychiatrist, psychologist who will help us to manage the patients.
A question that's on many people's minds. What is the cost of undergoing this kind of a procedure?
Okay, so the cost is also something. Of course, it's prohibitive sometimes, but it varies with what we are doing, right? Because there are some things that are small lesions, like for example in the ear or something, it might be as low as maybe like 50,000 or 60,000, and some other things like maybe liposuction, depending on what we are doing, the areas we are liposucking, it can be anywhere around 700 or 800,000. Breast reduction might be anywhere around 500 or 600 or 800,000. So it is very varied, but I understand it is also not cheap.
And one key question is, a number of times we see these kind of conversations around cosmetic surgery. It's usually women. Do we see men also, opting to have this kind of procedures done in Kenya?
Yes, there's what we call, the common language is called man boobs. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen men with, especially if they gain a lot of weight, then you get the breasts sagging or they're bigger and they don't look like the ones for the gym, right? People who drink a lot of beer, so that's something. So the commonest cosmetic surgeries in men would be the man boobs, but it's also a medical condition called gynecomastia. So it also, we've done, like the youngest I've done is primary school kids who are born with it, right? And they're like, it grows and it's become big, and now they're being laughed at by their peers. And then also liposuction of the tummy, of the kitambi, right? And then interestingly, the other thing that they come for is to reduce their butts.
Your Honor, this court has heard that one of the reasons behind people undergoing these procedures is about insecurities or self-esteem. It is only befitting that we hear from a psychologist to help address that dynamic. This court invites the doc, Lorna Nyatome. Lorna, when we have people going for cosmetic surgery especially, which is pretty much optional, it's more of a choice that one does. There's been the argument that for some people it's a matter of insecurities. From a psychologist's point of view, what's your view there?
Let's look at the beauty industry in a very holistic way.
Okay.
Globally, it's about $570 million. That's the value of the beauty industry. In Kenya, it's about $200 million. And women are seeking out more beauty services and products. The concept of beauty has been with us for centuries, from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and it's been influenced by different things in the different years and stages. It was really reserved for people who are famous, people who are celebrities, people who are in the movies. It wasn't really streaming down to the masses. So as the years went by, in the 80s and the 90s, plastic surgery became quite popular in America. We all know Michael Jackson. He was, everyone knew that he changed his skin color, he changed his body, but it became more popular, and people started accepting more that the possibility of changing their bodies. When we move into the 2000s, it's influenced more by social media, accessibility, and people now are understanding that if they're not happy with their bodies, they're able to change them. You know, they're able to change whatever they want to fix about their appearance. Now, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? For me, I feel like it's positive. It's driven by supply and demand. There are different reasons why people would want to change their appearance. Socioeconomically, it comes from the low income to the elite. You know, every class of people in society are using some kind of beauty experience to change their appearance. From the low income earners who have access to over-the-counter beauty products, they have access to teeth whitening products. Then you move to the middle income who have access to Botox, braces, so they can always improve their appearance. Then it goes into the high earners, you know, the affluent, who have access to plastic surgery. Then it moves up into the high earners, you know, the elite.
Yes.
They have access to spas. They have trips they can take where they have a whole like body contour program, or completely reconstruct their image. So if you look at it on a socio-economic level, we're all trying to look good, and we are all trying to feel good, you know. It's not necessarily because of an insecurity, but right now it's available to us. Now, there are different reasons why people would seek surgery, plastic surgery. It starts maybe with accessibility, available funds, they have money.
Yeah.
Then there is also reconstructive. Maybe you were in an accident and now you need to fix, you know, what might have happened to you. And then there's people who probably have had children and now they want to restore their bodies back to what they used to be. And then also there's the concept of self-esteem. You don't feel good about yourself, and changing your appearance might make you feel better. Then there's also the concept of career, moving up the ladder in your career. Your appearance, maybe if you want to work with an airline and you know there's a certain look of how stewardesses look, then you can seek that service to improve your appearance and get that job.
For those people who would want to, like you said, either say improve how they look, I'm just trying to now speak to the person who may be doing it driven by that.
Yes.
Would there be a space for them to now think about, besides going to fix this? Maybe I grew up, people made fun of my nose,
yeah,
and I want to have a nose job done, etc.
You know, you can change your appearance physically, but internally you have to work on yourself, your self-esteem, your self-worth, you know? So it's important that people know that, yeah, surgery is good. If you have access to it, you can do it, but also try and seek help in terms of therapy so that you can work on your self-esteem and you can work on the things that are bothering you, you know. In that way, it's sustainable.
For somebody who has gone through a procedure, for instance, if it's liposuction, yes, rather is a cosmetic procedure, what would be your advice in regards to their diet?
Yes.
Altogether.
So after a process like liposuction, of course, that removes the excess fat from your body. What causes fat in the body is excessive calories. So it's important for anyone to understand that when they seek liposuction, then they should also look for nutrition services and follow a program that will keep them in that shape, the new shape that they have. Because, you know, if they don't change their habits, they will revert back to what they were. So it's very important. And then also fitness, movement. People need to move more, you know. Just walking, simple walking can work, you know. This also helps you maintain, you know, the new body. And good sleep hygiene, hydration.
Your Honor, with all that has been submitted, a key element of all this, especially when the process goes wrong, is the matter of regulation and oversight by the government. This court will now question the regulator. We invite Dr. David Kariuki, the Chief Executive Officer of the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council, that is KMPDC, to the door. Dr. thank you for speaking to us. For clarity, how does the council carry out its surveillance?
One, we do what we call routine inspections. Secondly, we also conduct what we call for-cause inspections, where if there is a complaint against a facility or we get any information relating to a complaint that may have arisen from the treatment of a patient in a particular hospital. Thirdly, we also conduct inspections where we have received requests from the facilities where they have changed or would want to increase or reduce the number of services that they provide. Outside of that, we then, after registration, would conduct what we call routine surveillance to confirm that health facilities are continue to comply with the services that were available at the point that we registered them. And we do take appropriate action where we find discrepancies or those that don't keep to the minimum standards that are required. For every facility, we do ideally once every year for every facility. For those who maintain high standards, we may do that once in every 2 years. As of 1st November of this year, we had 13,477 licensed facilities across the Republic. In our register of specialists, we currently have 27 registered plastic surgeons in the country.
Now, Dr. all said and done, how would a member of the public know whether this place they are going to or this person who's going to be undertaking some procedure on them is licensed and legitimately in business?
We have given a toll-free SMS line, 20547, which would tell whether a doctor or a health facility is registered and licensed to operate within the year that one has gone to seek services from them. If one would want to confirm that the doctor treating them is licensed to provide services in the year, they would type P# the doctor's name and send that to 20547. For a health facility, the only difference is that they would now put a H instead of P. H# hospital name, and it would send back a response indicating that that facility is registered and licensed to operate within the year 2024, for example. And it will also give you the location, especially in terms of the county. Right.
The body of work on the body cannot afford to be left to the shoddy, the unlicensed, unqualified, the quacks who treat life and death works like hacks. In fact, their acts have axed stacks of hope and people's bodies get worse or more. We lose them. Yet all they wanted to do was improve them in their eyes, in their lives. People setting a credible profession's integrity on fire, seeming to have a broken conscience, so it's science. Put them to task and they will skirt around their ways. Yet all some needed was a slicker fitting skirt around their waists, a cuter smile upon their face, but the frown is now their face, phased and faced by the sad reality of wrongs in a sensitive space. So, as you go for your fix, get that due diligence in the mix, so you know who's legit and who's not. News Court.